I got all the voters. I swear to God, I've been at it for a minute. Climbing to the top, and this music was my ticket. Found a way to grind, turn a passion to a business. No limit, I'ma get it, having millions as a witness. I'm addicted to winning, living up every single day. I'll be fighting and building up in a million different ways. I don't think I can stop, I think I need the chase. I love to race, and I'm running till I'm first place. Long nights, long flights, I'ma make it big. Big dreams, big sights since I was a kid. Doing things that I like, let the pieces fit. I like the pain, feel alive when I'm under it. I could change, adapt to what I need to. All these obstacles, they looking see-through. Don't let the anger out, just let it feed you. I'll see you at the top, just let me teach you. Yeah, I'ma be a high roller. Move forward in the battle like soldier. In the game like closer. I'll be at the top of the chain, straight owner. Yeah, I got a different motor. I don't need any help, I'm a loner. You'll be seeing my name on posters. You could call me POTUS, I got all the voters. They be like, really? You got a milli from doing something silly? I'm like, chilly, I've been killing for decades now, Billy. Well, maybe like several years, but who's counting really? I just know how to turn something silly into a milli. Got a lot to say, and a lot need to hear it. You don't quit today, we don't stop, no, we feel it. To the top, yeah, we change our whole world, yeah, we steer it. Getting lost in the things that make us so worth hearing. I'm the first one to turn up, learn stuff, but mostly I'm just in the lab getting work done. Cause the bills on the first, they still worth some. I never forget being broke, man, it hurts, son. But not as bad as not having any purpose. I took stabs, this and that, and it's working. But I still grind every day for that thirst. It's a curse being first, yes, still gotta get my work done. Yeah, I'ma be a high roller. Move forward in the battle like soldier. In the game like closer. I'll be at the top of the chain, straight owner. Yeah, I got a different motor. I don't need any help, I'm a loner. You'll be seeing my name on posters. You could call me POTUS, I got all the voters. dreams. I push a mind to a limit where it needs to be. I work blind, got vision I don't need to see. I'm picking mind over matter, I believe in me. I need to find more hours in the day to breathe. Need to find more power in the way I be. And when my mind turns sour with the painful scenes, I need to scream out loud, I can't stop me. I wanna be the greatest like Rocky. You know I leave them all hating like a hobby. I'm out here making moves like a lobby. And if you ain't with me, it's your loss. See, I got my mind on the facts, I'm a python, grab what I like real fast. Choke until I have everything I attack, everything that I lack, everything that I want, and I see, matter of fact. Cause I'm my own worst enemy. Only if I let it be. I can control anything if I can just think carefully. I control my destiny. Deep up in my mind I manifest it. Every morning I wake up obsessed, and everything I do the best. And deep within my mind, you know I'll always manifest it.
Hello, and welcome to my Mind Over Your Matter. My name is Rick. Let's turn on the cameras here. Woo! What a day. I say, anytime you have a problem, anytime you have a headache, anytime you're running late, anytime anything's not going your way, blame Trump. That's all I'm saying. Just blame him. It doesn't matter. It wasn't his fault. It's always going to be his fault. Just blame him for everything. If it's raining outside, blame Trump. If you trip and fell and landed on your face, blame Trump. Blame Trump for everything. TDS, that TDS disease is very, very strong. And I mean, a lot of liberals are, I think they have that disease. And it's a shame, because how can we move forward if they're all stuck in the past? I don't know what to do with these Democrats. I don't know. But they're the ones that want to wreak havoc. Okay, let them wreak havoc. And they're just going to look stupid while they're doing it. That's for damn sure. All right. Let's see here. Let's get right into it. Let's set this up over here. And see what we got on the docket. Got a couple of things for us to watch, so let me just start getting that ready. Let's go with the first one here. And let's check this out.
A live look tonight from Kingston, Jamaica, the island bracing for what could come from Hurricane Melissa. The hurricane could bring flooding, landslides, and damage to infrastructure there. Mandatory evacuations were ordered in flood-prone communities, with buses taking people to those safety shelters. The community coming together to board up their homes and businesses as much as they can. And buildings, you see some of that work that is going on, or that has been going on, to prepare. Our meteorologist Melissa Nord joining us now, and this is really a big deal.
Yeah, and what you didn't see in those live shots were a lot of people. I saw one car, so everybody's hunkered down. They've been told by the government, by officials, that you need to be where you need to be, and you need to stay there until the storm is past, because the center of the storm, the really ferocious part of it, it's still like offshore, but once it hits, I mean, it's going to pick up big time with those winds, the storm surge, and of course the rain's been ongoing. So let me show you the latest. This thing again quickly intensified today. It had winds of just 145 last night. Now they're 175 at 5 o'clock today. And it is just on satellite imagery. You look at this, we called it concentric. It is symmetrical on both sides. We've got this buzzsaw shape right here. It's been moving northwest. We're finally starting to see that northward kick. I'm expecting more of that overnight, and that's going to pull it in towards western Jamaica. So it's going to be potentially the strongest hurricane to impact the island nation ever, rivaling Gilbert from back in 1988. Forecast track showing the outer rain bands impacting it through midnight tonight. But then as we get into early tomorrow morning, here's that eye wall coming on shore, and the eye itself, landfall likely tomorrow morning around sunrise in western Jamaica. And then from there, this thing moves northward, picks up forward speed a little bit, but that'll move over eastern Cuba by Wednesday. So Category 5 hurricane making landfall tonight. Tomorrow moving over eastern Cuba. Then from there, later on Wednesday, passing over the lower Bahamas. There's also a tropical storm warning for Turks and Caicos in effect. And even towards the tail end of the week, still could play an impact on Bermuda way out in the Atlantic. So we are thinking of Jamaica tonight and tomorrow morning as that storm moves onshore.
Wow, that's wild, because a lot of people are not going to be, that's just not going to be good. What the hell's going on here? Seems like the whole system's going a little crazy. Give me 1 second. See what is going on here. All right, let's bring it back to me here for a second. Let me get the satellites and stuff here on Melissa. I'm gonna get the mesoscale on Melissa and get a couple of more videos here. I just got to resize Give me 1 second to do that. System's running a little off. I blame Trump. That's my thing. Blame Trump. That's it. Just blame Trump. All right. If everything's not going how it's supposed to, blame Trump. This is a blame Trump show. Any type of problems you have, let's just blame it on Trump. Don't worry about it. Like the system is going super, super slow for some reason. I blame Trump. Damn, it's going so slow. What is going on tonight? It's not me. That's for damn sure. But it seems like everything's a little bit slower tonight. I will do my best. But I do got a good lineup of videos for us to watch. So just give me 1 second as I set them up for us. I just got to resize. That's all. That's the only thing I didn't get done behind the scenes because I kind of like forgot. But it is what it is. Just takes a moment. It takes about a minute for me to resize everything. But let's see. Here we go. Got a few more here. Let's see. Okay, I don't know what that's about. I have no clue what that's about. Let's go ahead and I think this one I gotta move it over. And hope you guys had a good day today. If you didn't, you know what I'm gonna say? Blame Trump. Blame him from everything. I don't like it doesn't matter. Like just blame Trump. Blame him. If you had a long day, your back is hurting, your head is hurting, your stomach is hurting, just like my system going a little crazy. It's just driving me really fucking insane. But blame Trump. That's all I can tell you. Is blame Trump. The Jamaica's gonna get hammered. When I mean hammered, it's not good. Let's see, it's uploading. So let us do its thing here. Actually, you know what? Let's get out of this. It's probably what's making the system a little slow. Let's go ahead and go over to the Atlantic. I'm doing some things behind the scenes here. So you see, it's a bad gateway. Knew it. Bad gateway. Let's see if I could get a closer look. Here, we could go to this one. Here we go. This one looks a little bit better. I'm just trying to get a radar up to show you guys what the system is looking like right now. I'm just getting it all set up. So give me one moment. Here we go. Let's go ahead and take this out. Go ahead and move this over here. Let's go ahead and here. It's a lot of things to do behind the scenes. It's not easy. This is just not easy. But I'm doing my best. Like I said, if you're having a hard day, blame Trump. Like right now, I'm not having a good time with my system going a little slow. I'm blaming Trump for it. And this is what the system is looking like right now. This is a very dangerous Category 5 hurricane with winds of 175 miles per hour, gusts way over 200, 210 miles per hour easily. This system looks like it is still in a strengthening phase. You see how it's white from earlier today, and look how pink it got today. Look how strong pink it is. My goodness, it looked like it already passed Jamaica. It's already like at the point of Jamaica right here. As you could do a little lineup right here, you can see it's like above. If it goes north and then turns east, I think the one that's gonna get the brunt of this, Montego Bay, the eastern Jamaica is gonna get devastated. At least the west side of Jamaica, actually the east side of Jamaica is gonna be okay. The west side, I mean, the west side is gonna get devastated. Central to east side of Jamaica is going to be devastated. The west side, as like I would say, this is gonna be okay. They'll be fine unless this storm decides to go and do like a complete right turn at the last second and go right. That would be devastating. But right now, it looks like it's gonna be more towards the western part of Jamaica that's going to get the brunt of the storm. And it's just not going to be good once we get those videos coming out from that area. It's going to look horrible. With that said, let's continue on with some more news on Hurricane Melissa.
It's been a long day of coverage, no question. So, Brian,
Trump.
What's happening on Jamaican radar. And when we get Brian back, we'll talk about what's happening within the core of that. So here it is. He mentioned the data kind of going in and out. He had also mentioned that Melissa may be stronger.
I got hit by Category 5 hurricane.
Arrives.
Hurricane Andrew was Category 5 when it made landfall.
Inner core is so intense. But there's an outer ring. It sounds like we got Brian back. Wanted to get your thoughts on that, Brian. That outer ring, and the NHC noted that maybe in the next 12 to 24 hours, an eyewall replacement cycle could happen. Is it too late at this point to bring down those top winds in any considerable way?
Well, it might bring down the winds, but the thing is, remember, the cycle is it starts strong. It expands out, it gets weaker, and then it gets stronger again and begins to shrink. So it might go to that series of I wonder what happened to my graphics there. That was interesting. I think, let's tell you what, let me get off the radar because we do have that connection problem down to Jamaica now. But what happens is it's relatively small, a new one forms, it expands and gets bigger, the storm gets bigger, and then it shrinks again. That's the whole cycle, and gets strong again. So it goes through a weaker growing phase.
Blame Trump.
So it could do that between now and the time it makes landfall. It's running out of time, though, to do the whole thing and get strong again by the time it gets there. So odds are Category 4, strong Category 4 or Category 5 at landfall. Okay, here's where we are right now. Some tropical storm force winds over Jamaica. That's what the yellow is indicating. These are hurricane force gusts and hurricane force sustained here. So a lot of places in Jamaica have no wind at all because it's blocked by the mountains. So it just depends on the direction that the wind is coming. All right, let's go forward in time. Here we are tomorrow morning. This is nominally 2 a.m. And you see there's the hurricane force winds. The super strong winds are in a smaller area like that, and it's clear the direction that it's going. It's going up into that southwestern part of Jamaica. So it's still Category 5 in their estimate at that time. Then we get up to 8 a.m., so just before landfall, you can see with the center off here, looks like landfall 8 a.m., 9 a.m., maybe 9 or 10 Eastern time, 8 or 9 Jamaica time tomorrow. So at least the sun will be up when all this stuff starts flying around. It's a good idea to have sunlight so you can see what's going on. In the vicinity of Black River, which is a town there, a significant town.
I think it'll be a little bit more to the west.
Port down there, and a resort area called Treasure Beach just below Black River seems to be right in the center of this thing, and the city of Mandeville, which is 2,000 feet up as well. So this is just very, very bad for this area right here. I hope nobody stays where the water can come down from the mountain or the wind can get them. It's really daunting. Then 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, you see it moving across the island Again, hurricane force winds here, including into Montego Bay, 1 to 3 foot of storm surge there. But this is the onshore side. And somewhere in here, if the core is like this, somewhere in here, there's going to be a swath that's going to be like a tornado. It's just going to take out the trees for a significantly wide, like it's like a big wide tornado. Just think about it. If the winds are 175, the gusts are over 200, that's an EF5 tornado. So this is really, really extreme. And then moving away by tomorrow evening, the winds are going to let up over by after sunset tomorrow. There you see hurricane force gusts still in the Ocho Rio area tomorrow night. All right, so there are the forecasts. So a very, very high confidence that it's going to move into the Black River area in western Jamaica. The Mandeville will be on the right side of it here. Ocho Rios will be on the right side of that track. That's the strong side. Going to be driving water into the coast here, and this is going to be extraordinarily dangerous all along there and in that corridor going over the island. There you see the Google lines, or the concentration of them is here. So very high confidence. This is where it's going. The core of it is not coming to Kingston, but Kingston will be aware of it because of two reasons. One is, first of all, the water is going to get pushed ashore here, so the tide is going to be higher than normal. Now, whether it's going to be high enough to endanger the airport and so forth, that is an open question, because you have two things going on. You have the fresh water coming down, and you have the storm surge coming in. Right now, it's a little bit of optimism for the storm surge side of that in Kingston. But from here, Portland Point over, this is the very bad place. A lot of this is a nature coast kind of thing until you get over a little bit farther to the west. There isn't a whole lot down at that coast. And the rain will pile up. So remember where the storm was forecast to move in. It's something like this, right? You can see where the rain is forecast over that higher elevation. Purple's up in the multiple feet range. And this is all going to happen tomorrow and into the next day. So this is like torrential, continuous rain over those mountains that all has to drain down to the sea. You see another mountain over here. When we look at Jamaica, you can see how much of that island is mountainous. There's that big open area there where the metropolitan Kingston area is, but they're surrounded by mountains. And then on the other side, that moisture comes in this way, and then it's up against the mountains, and it still has to drain out into the Caribbean. So it's going to take time for that to happen. But throughout, all across Jamaica, they're going to be dealing with potential flooding rain from this tremendous amount of rain falling up the mountain. And then it goes on to Cuba, and they have a significant storm surge and a significant hurricane threat there in Guantanamo in the eastern provinces of Cuba.
Yeah, it's going to be like a
and
Cat
also
3, Cat 4.
hurricane warning in effect for the central and southeastern Bahamas, tropical storm warning in effect for the Turks and Caicos Islands. And then we'll see about
Bermuda. Right in the middle.
Early Friday, maybe, the storm is there passing by quickly, but it's going to be much larger. So it's going to be hard for all of it to miss Bermuda, but hopefully not the core of it. Hopefully that will go on by. It seems like Bermuda attracting hurricanes here lately, and one more here for the end of hurricane season. All right, Ian, back to you.
Yeah, I think we can probably safely say that at this point, right? One more. It has been a trickle system magnet, but analysis, Brian, we know that this is going to be a scary situation moving through the next couple of days. We'll be leaning on you. We'll be checking back. That's Fox Weather hurricane specialist Brian Norcross. Thanks.
Okay.
All right, we'll be checking up on him in a little bit, but let's go ahead and check out another. This is the mesoscale, and this is what I'm seeing. This storm is like Frankenstein scary. Like, this is like the storm that it's gonna make the record books for Jamaica for sure. Look how pink. Look at the cold. These are super cold cloud tops right here, and this system is just looks so impressive. You understand the waters out here are like super hot. Like, they're about 87, 88 degrees. It's perfect for feeding for this hurricane. And it's taking up all that energy and it's absorbing it, and it's not letting up. It's actually getting stronger. It looks like it's even getting even more stronger. Oh man, Could it reach higher than 175? Could it go up to like 180, 185, 190? That would be extremely dangerous if it did. Is it a possibility they could do it? Listen, this storm went from a tropical storm to a category 5 hurricane in less than 24 hours. Okay, so anything is possible with this storm, and I wouldn't want to be nowhere near this storm when that happens. And man, I feel bad for the people of Jamaica. I feel bad for the people on the western side of Cuba, and everyone that's in the path of the storm is going to get hit hard. Now, talking about hitting hard, let's go on to the next story. This next story, I guess it was a high-speed chase earlier today out in California. Let's check that out because it looks pretty gnarly.
The Rancho Cucamonga area, right by Victoria Gardens, where there was a deputy-involved shooting, where a deputy was the one that was the victim and was shot.
Hey, Rob, what's up?
There's a huge presence out there.
Happy Monday, Black Trump.
Got the condominium surrounded. While we were there, this vehicle came out of that condominium complex, and the pursuit was on.
Oh,
now, is this that shooting suspect? Is this a distraction? I can't fill in those blanks. I'm going to let the viewers kind of put those pieces together on their own. What I can tell you, though, is
I guess your discretion is advised, because I think this turns into something very dangerous.
Was running against traffic up Day Creek Road up to the 210 freeway, got onto the 210 freeway, and at one point this motorcycle was over 150 miles an hour on the 210. Now, law enforcement, they're definitely not letting this person walk. I can guarantee you that. The San Bernardino Sheriff's Department, they had a helicopter in the air. That one was following along with Skyfox. And on the ground, a number of units were chasing this vehicle as well. Even some of those California Highway Patrol cars were keeping up with this vehicle on the freeway. Take a look at that. Those maneuvers, Sandy, I do not want to see anybody lose their life on television, but this is one of those ones where I have to show it. We got to stay tight. We got to do our job.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a crash.
I'm not joking when I tell you my blood is running cold, especially when that vehicle starts, that motorcycle starts wobbling, gets so close to a lot of these cars. Anything unpredictable happens in front of that motorcycle. I mean, see that outcome. Yeah, for a moment there,
it looks like he's driving very recklessly.
Motorcycle units,
I don't know how. I don't like bikes. I'm not a fan of it.
Hopefully, this driver makes the right decision.
Very dangerous.
As it stands right now, look at those numbers.
I mean, if it's a three-wheeler, I wouldn't mind.
It does seem like he's slowing down.
Oh, look, there's a police officer.
Hopefully, it's going to
here
we go. To an end. But you have to remember, that suspect is wanted for a deputy-involved shooting where a deputy was shot.
Oh, shit.
So, yes, law enforcement, they are going to try to bring this to an end. They might use
shot.
some practical ways to bring it to an end.
Yeah.
But take a look at that, Sandy.
Did we just see this motorist on the motorcycle trying to kind of sway into the CHP motor officer as well?
Yep. Yes, definitely. And was the motorcycle officer maybe trying to get up close to the suspect to bring that suspect down? Maybe.
Man,
this is one of those ones where it is just one of we just watch it, and I just don't want to see anybody lose their life this afternoon, especially not on our cameras. You can see this rider clearly is very comfortable with the way they are handling that motorcycle, but that doesn't mean that this is any kind of safe. Right now, it looks like he's...
Oh, shit!
Exactly what I was talking about.
Oh, Lord.
Okay.
That's exactly what I was talking about.
Wow, we didn't see that coming. That really came out of nowhere as we were watching this motorcyclist. Very comfortable on the bike.
No.
Believe me, they're going to take that suspect. He's still moving. That is
Holy
a plus.
Shit.
They are definitely going to take him into custody. It did look like the motorcycle did land on top of him once he was on the ground. Now, I have to say...
Oh, my God.
You got a number of officers down there. I can guarantee you... I can guarantee you they're going to stop the freeway, but they're also going to start calling for paramedics. They already called for paramedics. And again, how they're going to get there this quickly is another
These people
question.
jumped on top of him to handcuff him.
Wow, that I'm telling you, that is definitely not the ending I wanted to see. I am hoping that suspect survives.
All right,
but
is he alive?
From the suspect, I believe.
Oh my God, he is not going
anywhere. And you were tracking
you don't need
that
to put handcuffs
motorcyclist. The speeds are about 70 miles per hour at that point.
Oh my God, that scared me.
Comfortably riding along the freeway right there.
I'm gonna have to rewatch my show
just
to hear my reaction.
The handlebars at that point
oh my God, that scared me.
Adjusting, and then all of a sudden crashing to the vehicle in front of him that came out of nowhere. We didn't see that happening.
Oh, this guy stays alive.
So
he
want
is
to
lucky.
Apologize for that.
He better blame Trump for
clearly,
this.
Just a violent ending right there as the motorist flew off of that motorcycle upon collision, rear-ending that one vehicle along the freeway right there on the 210 eastbound. But wow, what a scene here. Again, the original want for this pursuit, as you mentioned, Stu, was a deputy-involved shooting that happened in the San Bernardino area. There's another scene at that location at this point where there's a perimeter set up around the situation and around the area where that shooting happened. So law enforcement officials have two scenes they are dealing with at this point, really trying to find out and piece together what exactly happened. So this is on the right side of your screen where that white truck is. You're seeing the scene at the officer-involved shooting where that deputy was, in fact, involved in this shooting. And we believe, again, the pursuit happened because of this, and that is why they were following that motorcyclist on the 210. So, again, on the right side of your screen, you're looking at the area and the neighborhood where that shooting took place in San Bernardino. Stu.
Sandra, we're getting confirmation that that is the suspect. We've got confirmation from our assignment desk that that is the suspect that it was wanted for what started as some sort of burglary at Victoria Gardens, then turned into a deputy-involved shooting blocks away from that mall. And then now you can see that there was a crazy pursuit on that 210 freeway, ending in that tragic crash out there. Now, as far as we can tell, I don't want to get too gory because I know we are still
no wonder he was going against traffic too. Look at this.
Paramedics down there
that is dangerous
for the sheriff's department that are administering
that is super
first
dangerous
aid to that suspect after they did take him into custody. My question is for you and maybe some of the viewers is we do know that motorcycle collided with or basically bumped into the side of a civilian's vehicle.
Yeah.
And I just don't know where that civilian's vehicle is. I'm hoping that person is okay as well. And again, at the time of the crash, we all saw it live. He was actually, he had taken off his backpack. He didn't even have his hands on the handlebars, and he was going through his backpack for some reason while he was on the freeway. At any rate, coming to a crashing end. That suspect now in custody. This is going to be on that eastbound 210 freeway. We're going to be in the Rancho Cucamonga upland area. Excuse me, we're in the upland area right now. You can see all lanes are stopped. They may be like this for some time. There might be some traffic issues. You can see some of the first responders from the fire department, paramedics arriving. We're going to see if they hopefully they do, transport that suspect. But again, what a wild and unfortunate ending to what's been going on out here in the Rancho Cucamonga area.
And Stu, we were just looking at a double box on the right side of your screen earlier. You were seeing the pursuit as it happened before we got to this point of the collision on the 210 freeway, and we are going to show once again how this ended up tragically in an accident right here at this location. We do want to remind viewers that it is disturbing to watch, but again, this pursuit happening, and we went on the air around 1:30. There it is. That's the collision.
Oh my God.
And how we got to this point on the 210. But there you saw the motorcyclist distracted with hands off the handlebar and then ramming into the side of that innocent motorist and vehicle traveling along the 210. But sheriff deputies do believe and have confirmed that this is the suspect wanted in a deputy-involved shooting that happened in San Bernardino. And there it is again. It's tough to watch, but time and again, we cover these pursuits. We don't know what motivates these people to take off and evade authorities. And obviously, we never know how it's going to end. And unfortunately, in this situation, it is involving medical personnel on the scene and obviously a devastating crash like this, Stu.
Well, Sandy, I'm having a lot of trouble with the IFB, but I just want to, say just a little bit is, we don't, or I personally don't know the condition of the deputy that was shot that started pretty much all of this or put it all into motion. I do hope that that deputy is going to be okay. Law enforcement, they are out here in force. They were out there at that condominium in force looking for that suspect. How he got on that motorcycle, how he made that quick departure, all of that they're going to figure out later on. I can tell you that fire department, you can see that's the first one arriving right there. They probably definitely have paramedics on board. We're going to keep an eye on it to see if they or how they treat that suspect, meaning are they going to put this person on a gurney or is it going to be something else?
Well, the way they jump at him,
as far as that freeway goes, also got to put it out there is if the eastbound 210 is your ride today, especially through the Upland area, I would definitely make other plans, especially because that freeway is going to be closed for some time, and we're going to get on the ambulance and see where that...
Into the newsroom that this all apparently started, as you mentioned, Stu, with an apparent shoplifting incident at Victoria Mall. That is where the origin of all this happened, and then the scene moved on to an apartment building across the street in that location, and that is where somehow apparently there was a deputy-involved shooting, and then they witnessed this suspect on a motorcycle just take off high speeds, Stu, as you were following this whole situation, reaching up to what, 170 miles per hour on a motorcycle, going the opposite direction of traffic.
Yeah, extremely reckless driving. When we got on the freeway, that's when the speeds got well into the triple digits. When he was on Day Creek making his way from the Victoria Gardens up to the 210, that was basically the entire ride was weaving back and forth through oncoming traffic. So he was driving the wrong way on Day Creek, making his way up to the 210 freeway. Once he got on that freeway, though, he really did open it up. But, even the law enforcement, the patrol, they did have some vehicles that were keeping up, but staying close enough that they were nearby. And then you saw that motorcycle officer make that attempt to maybe bring this to an end. But
yeah, that pit maneuver, we actually have video of that, Stu. Let's roll that as you talk about this, because this is kind of an unusual pursuit of a suspect on a motorcycle. There you see the CHP officer right there approaching the side, and it looks like trying to make a pit maneuver, but the suspect then ramming a little bit into the CHP officer and then taking off. Talk a little bit about that, Stu, as we witness that live on the air.
For my French, but come on.
I would love to sit down or have a talk with some officers from the California Highway Patrol, especially their motorbike division, because I wonder what the protocol is for something like that. That was a dangerous maneuver, but again, the officers that are out there on patrol, they weigh their risk with with what that suspect is wanted for at all times, and that is that is one of those ones. He's taking that risk, knowing that this is a very wanted suspect. But I don't know what the plan was there. I've never seen a motorcycle try to pit another motorcycle. I am moving a little bit closer
how is that gonna happen?
Now, because that suspect is not fatal. I can tell you that. That person is actually sitting up right now. They've got the neck brace on.
Broken ribs, broken.
With him, so
who knows what's happening inside of him?
Going to a hospital. There's much relief there in my voice because I just don't you know, a day at
Thank
work
God
where
he was
we watch
wearing a
anybody
helmet.
pass is not a good day at work, but this makes my day feeling a lot better. That suspect in custody, and again,
Blame
what
Trump
a
for that.
crazy crash that was. And take a look at that freeway. That is a number of law enforcement and some other vehicles that they're starting to basically squeeze through. But California Highway Patrol, they're kind of opening up one lane to get everybody by. But how long this is going to be here, it's going to be some time. But all of this, you know, Sandy, you think about it, right?
I don't know why they don't put this much effort. They rather protect them than to get them. You know what I mean? It's like we're not gonna go after illegals. We're just gonna high speed chase and have people just thrown off their bikes. Like, he's lucky to be alive. I mean, at least he was smart to wear a helmet. I mean, but man, that scared me, man. I can't wait to watch this show again just to hear my reaction, because it caught me by surprise. I knew something bad was going to happen. Something was not going to go down. Like, it just, when it happened, it really scared me. Oh boy, let's keep it moving. We do got a lot to watch, so let's get right to it. Let's get right into a little bit of Jason A.
It's hugely symbolic, and I think it speaks to the desire that each of these men has to dialogue.
Images signifying unity at a time when the world seems increasingly fractured.
Yeah, it feels like we need now more than ever that sort of message that you can get along with people of different faiths.
Do you believe that President Trump will manage to turn this into an actual peace for the Middle East?
I am absolutely optimistic on this, but in any case, we're ready to provide all the help that is needed. I think the international community has to help him the maximum we can. So Italy is here to say we are ready.
Basically, what I think he's saying is that the Roman Empire will collapse, but its influence will continue, and it will manifest itself again in the final kingdom that will come in the end. You see, many see this last kingdom as literally a restoration of the Roman Empire. But I believe it represents something more subtle and diabolical. I think it represents the rebirth of the very spirit that animated the Roman Empire.
Yeah.
The book of Revelation in chapter 16 calls it the throne of the king and the kingdom of the beast. He talks about a kingdom which he describes in verse 10 has this perennial nature to it. It existed in the past, it exists in the present, it exists in the future. And that's where it really becomes confusing, because when he talks about the beast that was and is not and so forth and so on, and we're just going, who in the world are we talking about here? But essentially what he's talking about is, he said there are 7 kings, that 5 have fallen.
Now, the timing here also important to know, Mugo, because this visit comes days after Prince Andrew just announced that he was dropping all of his royal titles after the royal family has been under a lot of intense scrutiny over Prince Andrew's ties with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
Nearly 500 years ago, King Henry VIII severed England's ties with the Catholic Church. Today, that rift has been repaired, with Pope Leo and King Charles praying together at the Sistine Chapel, a symbolic step in the reconciliation between the Catholic and Anglican churches.
This is also about making history. Inside the Sistine Chapel, they prayed alongside each other. The first time a monarch and pontiff have done that for 500 years, since Henry VIII broke away from the Catholic Church. With King Charles also governor of the Church of England, the optics could not be more significant for relations between the two faiths.
What do we know about the significance of this visit?
Hey Mugo, good to see you too. So let's give you some context here. While we know King Charles has met with previous popes, he has never actually shared a prayer with them. So this is huge. It marks the first joint worship that the royals have had with the Pope in, get this, 500 years.
You could see from their interactions that you have two men who have shared interests and passions. But as it was pointed out to me by the head of the Catholic Church for England and Wales, you also have two heads of state who are currently wrestling with issues around historical sexual abuse hanging over their institutions and how best to approach those publicly. Certainly not afraid to meet the public. There will be relief that there were no updates on the Prince Andrew problem.
Of course, it's going to have some degree of overshadowing, but hopefully just the beauty of this event will outshine all of that darkness.
I mean, that's like a little gossip interest, but I think for the Romans, this is a pretty big thing.
And that is where the jeopardy still lies for the royal family as they try to draw our attention back to important moments like this.
In the heart of the Vatican, a moment, half a millennia in the making. The Supreme Governor of the Church of England, alongside the head of the Catholic Church, praying publicly together.
Let us pray.
Swiss guards formed a guard of honour to greet the King and Queen as they arrived at the Vatican. Their Majesties then escorted inside the Apostolic Palace, meeting Pope Leo XIV for the first time.
Good morning.
Oh, Lord.
Such a pleasure to meet you.
Queen Camilla, dressed in a black outfit and black mantilla, a lace veil, a mark of respect for the pontiff. Before the time came to enter the hallowed halls of the Sistine Chapel, the sacred space in which Pope Leo was elected to the papacy just 5 months ago, this moment of unity between Christian churches not seen in 500 years. Michelangelo's masterpiece bearing witness to the deeply symbolic service, focusing on a cause both the King and the Pope are passionate about, protecting the environment.
God our Father, you have created the heavens and the earth.
The Queen changing into white for a visit to the Papal Basilica St. Paul's outside the walls, where the King was bestowed a new title, Royal Confrater. Outside, the royal couple were greeted like rock stars.
Italy loves our Queen. Italy loves.
The King has long campaigned for building bridges between faiths, and today's visit is a moment in history for the Christian church and a key connection for the future.
I want to head over to Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt right now, where President Trump and leaders from around the world participated in that peace signing ceremony you saw earlier. Keir Simmons is there tonight. Keir, great to have you as well. So many leaders traveled to Egypt for this moment. How optimistic did it feel like, did it sound like the rest of the world is that this truce brokered by President Trump will hold?
Well, I think there was real optimism here, Tom, and also a real sense of relief. Like in so many places, many of the neighbors of Israel, Arab states, have felt that their much needed security, stability was being shaken by what was happening in Gaza. There was also, of course, a profound sense of understanding for the Palestinian people amongst many of the leaders of the countries that surround Israel. So there was all of that. And then I think there was also this sense of the power of the American presidency and the way President Trump utilizes it to get things done. An extraordinary moment, Tom. The Chancellor of Germany, waiting for hours for President Trump to arrive, walked over and stood and watched President Trump speaking in the Knesset on NBC News monitors on our live feed. That was something I'd never experienced before. And then after the meeting with the signing of the peace plan, as it's called by the Trump administration, then the Italian Prime Minister, Giorgia Meloni, came out, and I asked her about just that question about how sustainable this idea of this peace plan really is, how likely it is in practice to work out, if you like. And she was effusive in her support for President Trump.
Yeah, and we know a lot of leaders there want a Palestinian state, but Israel does not. President Trump has not really committed to that two-state solution. Yet they're backing Trump. So what do we draw from all that, Keir? That's somewhat confusing.
Yeah, it is. And I think, honestly, that some of this is to do with the personal connections that President Trump has with leaders, particularly in the Gulf, like the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Qatar. I think there is that at play. There are economic interests clearly, but there are also questions about what happened. Prime Minister Netanyahu was not here today. There was a possibility that he would be here, and then the announcement from his office that he would not, because it's a holiday in Israel. I suspect, though, that he also at the same time did not relish the idea of potentially coming face to face with the president of the Palestinian Authority, Mahmoud Abbas. And I suspect that Arab leaders did not like the idea of seeing him here. They have been vitriolic in their criticism of him over recent months as the Gaza war has worn on. So that just underscores, Tom, the kinds of challenges, the kinds of divisions that will still be here tomorrow, the kinds of hurdles ahead if President Trump is to achieve his vision, his dream.
But he says there's a final world empire that will rise in the future in the last days. And he says the other, which he calls this last empire, has not yet come. John, he's not yet here. But when he does come, he must remain for a little while. And I believe this is talking about the kingdom of the beast in the last days.
It makes you wonder. Thanks, Jason A. What a great video. Makes you wonder. End of days. Are we close to it? How close are we to the end of days? I mean, we got a lot of weird shit happening around the world, and here in the United States too. I mean, you got good that are bad and bad that are good, and then you have hypocrites all over the place, especially in New York. Like, I do not want to visit New York. I mean, I'm at the point that if they elect this idiot into office, it's gonna ruin New York. It's gonna ruin New York City. And I don't know why they just letting this happen. I mean, don't you supposed to be born in the United States in order to run for any type of office? I mean, don't you have to be some kind of, like, I don't know, American and not some jihadist and some Muslim stuff? Like, I don't know. I don't get it. It's weird times. So, I mean, what where are we coming to? What is this world coming to? All right, I'm sorry about that. The background is dark because it's dark. I made everything dark. It's a lot easier on my eyes, especially after I put those eye drops. But let's watch a little bit of Benny Johnson, see what he has to say. Especially, the fuck is that? Oh my god. What the fuck?
What's up, guys? It's Benny. It's always good to be a critical thinker, especially in an age of AI slop. Let me give you an example of that as I was preparing for this story. I Googled AOC private jet, and the response I got from the AI overview, by the way, nobody's clicking on articles anymore. Everyone's just reading AI overviews. It goes like this. AOC does not own a private jet. Well, it's not what I searched for. She can barely pay rent. I don't think she owns a private jet. The topic of AOC private jet stems from her critique of corporate greed and CEOs using private jets. Therefore, there's no factual basis on the claim that she had a private jet. Not what I claimed. But has she ever been on a private jet? Oh, yes, she has. There's photographic evidence of AOC using a private jet that cost $15,000 per hour to attempt to fight the oligarchy rally. So this is a great example of AI trying to cover up the horrible and embarrassing discrepancies of AOC activist versus AOC in reality. Far left socialists, a couple of high flyers, far left New York City Congressman AOC spotted exiting a private jet with her comrade in arms, Bernie Sanders, between stops in their fight.
You know, they let them be, and they let
she was using a Bombardier Challenger 604, despite most of them railing against private jet use.
I don't even know that for his children
by AI, and really
it could be rented children.
Maybe AI gets this. Children. There it is. Okay. Now, this is very
Bring
interesting.
Mike.
The Bombardier Challenger 604 is a large cabin private jet. Wide
We can't have them exposed here in the White House.
Cruise. Intercontinental range. Goodness. It's configured for 9 to 12 passengers. That's huge. A full gallery in-flight accessible baggage. Aircraft's flexibility makes it great. Let's go ahead and check here.
You're
How much
funny.
does it cost? What would this cost? This would range between $4 million and $8 million to buy one. And then again, they tack on the jet controversy. Okay. So now I've been able to hack it. Got it. Now we got them. Anyway, the point is like, be careful. Aircraft will cost potentially $7 million. Be careful with AI, man. There's Bernie Sanders and AOC. Look at her grinning. She loved this private jet trip.
Wow.
Careful with these
What a
people.
bunch of hypocrites.
Because they will lie to you, and they can program AI to lie to you. And then when they get on their Fight the Oligarchy tour, they'll lie to you by using fake accents. Listen to this.
Donald Trump is a criminal who was found guilty of 34 felony counts of fraud. Liable for sexual abuse.
Factual.
Of course he's lying and abusing and manipulating the stock market too. When he talks about rapists and criminals, he should look in the mirror.
Yeah.
What was that about? Go back to bartending.
AOC kicks off Zorhan Mandami. Okay, so did she take a private jet to this too? I'm wondering if she can figure this out.
She probably did.
Progressive stars line up for Zorhan Mandami in a big rally in New York. Now, it's really funny because AOC was there, and I have some major critiques of AOC speaking to this crowd. Ladies and gentlemen, while Zorhan Mandami may be a new darling that was created by the same socialists that fund AOC, there's just a major difference between them. It's very interesting. Both Sanders and AOC have campaigned alongside Mandami. AOC, who spoke ahead of Sanders and Mandami, said New York City will send a message to Trump that his authoritarian is no good here. Well, that's a very courteous quote, because when you listen to the way AOC actually delivers these lines, it's really something else. That we are here in this moment during this time is not a coincidence. It is not a coincidence that both the visionary forces of Zorhan is up against this race, mirrors what we are up against nationally, both the authoritarian criminal presidency fueled by corruption and bigotry and the ascendant right-wing extremist movement. She says right-wing extremist movement here in this setting. Please ask AOC, what's a woman? Right?
But we must remember, in a time such as this, we are not the crazy ones, New York City. We are not the outlandish ones, New York City. They want us to think we are crazy. We are sane.
AOC having a meltdown here.
Was built by the Irish escaping.
Okay, I'm going to just give you a little speaker's tip.
Don't read down every single time.
If you're having to look down every sentence, you're not a good speaker. You're not a good
coming from the heart.
Don't look down every single sentence. Look up. Know your material. Make eye contact with people. It actually takes you out of it when you're looking down every second. So you shouldn't be giving a speech looking like that. Okay, that's how many times AOC does this in this 30-second clip.
City was built by the Irish
Look, she's reading.
Italians fleeing fascism.
Read that script. Read that script. Come on. Read that script.
Latinos seeking a better life. Native people standing
What
for
is wrong with her?
That's amazing.
Yo, give that Chihuahua a bone.
What were the Latinos fleeing, AOC? What ideology is prevalent in South America? What were Latinos fleeing exactly? All of the Venezuelans and Cubans. What were they fleeing? They were fleeing exactly the garbage that you're trying to sell them here.
Americans coming together in Queens, in Brooklyn, in the
Yeah, Benny Johnson's creepy too.
Bad.
That happened a while back. I remember that story, Rob.
How many accents did you count in that one speech? Did you catch AOC's black accent?
Tender. Ain't nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with working retail, folding clothes for other people to buy.
What the
There
hell?
is nothing wrong with preparing the food that your neighbors will eat.
Wrong. Food.
I just watch Benny because he gets the videos, you know?
I counted at least 3 accents in this. AOC is retarded. AOC is full-blown meme at this point. Can somebody tell me how mainstream media and AOC is doing a Nazi salute here? Oh boy. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh, AOC, they got you.
Oh no.
AOC got those on Unhinged Rant.
They
Over
did the
20%.
Nazi salute.
NYC is over 20%
The one that
black
they
population, yet the
attacked
AOC
Elon.
Bernie Mandami rally.
For how long?
Forest Hills. You see 0 black people.
Where he was. Look at Trump in the background.
Internet has spoken. AOC is a Nazi. Got her. AOC's epic meltdown here doesn't even mention an appeal to white people. She literally just hates white people. Oh, no. Oh, no. I've been saying it for months. Democrats' only choice after 2024 loss is to fully embrace the radical left-wing base. There is no such thing as a moderate Democrat anymore. Mandami, AOC, and Crockett are the leaders of the Democrat Party. We must remember we are not the crazy ones. We are sane. Say it in the wrong burgundy voice. AOC, we're not the crazy ones. We are sane. Screaming like a wild banshee, moving around like she has to pee. Lots to unpack here. Sorhan Mandami soars to record highs as his chance to win the New York City. That source to 95. And
Horrible, man.
Goodness.
Damn, I'm not going to be able to go to New York for like 4 years.
What a nightmare.
I wouldn't want to go. I live right next to it. I'd rather go to Boston. I'll deal with the fucking craziness in Boston.
Cooked.
But I'm not going to go to New York.
Unstable.
It's just, that's not for me.
President Trump has the best lines on all of this, by the way.
It used to be a beautiful place.
Let's have AOC run against me. AOC run against Trump. Let's go. AOC, low IQ. Let's see what she can do.
Sir, Steve Bannon said in a recent interview that there could be plans for you to be able to run and potentially win a third term in 2028. Is that something you'd be willing to challenge the board to be?
Well, I haven't really thought about it. We have some very good people, as you know. But I have the best poll numbers I've ever had. I mean, I just solved 8 wars and a 9th is coming. I believe Russia, Ukraine will happen.
You said that for 2028, they're very good people.
Well, we have great people. Well, I don't have to get into that, but we have one of them standing right here. We have JD, obviously. The vice president is great. I think Marco's great. I think, I'm not sure if anybody would run against us. I think if they have a formed group, it would be unstoppable. I really do. I believe that. I would love to do it. I have my best numbers ever. It's very terrible. I have my best numbers. If you read it, am I not ruling it out? You'll have to tell me. All I can tell you is that we have a great group of people, which they don't. They have Jasmine Crockett, a low IQ person. They have AOC's low IQ. You give her an IQ test, have her pass like the exams that I decided to take when I was at Walter Reed. Those are very hard, they're really aptitude tests, I guess, in a certain way, but they're cognitive tests. Let AOC go against Trump. Let Jasmine go against Trump. I don't think Jasmine, the first couple of questions are easy. A tiger, an elephant, a giraffe, you know. When you get up to about 5 or 6, and then when you get up to 10 and 20 and 25, they couldn't come close to answering any of those questions.
Damn. What a spike on freaking AOC and Jasmine Crockett at the same time. You know? That's wild. That's wild. I mean, that girl, AOC, you know, they want her to run for 2028. I don't think she'd be presidential. You know, who will fucking vote for her? She would probably be more like vice president. she'll probably go for like vice president, and who she's gonna be behind, like who's she gonna be watching, like from the background, who's gonna be the one that's gonna run for presidency. Is it gonna be Kamala Harris? Ew, ew, ew. She's really coming back? Ew, that's disgusting, Rick. I know, that's fucking horrible. Like, who else? Gavin Newsom? Are you kidding me? That guy has more hair gel. I bet he has stock in hair gel. That motherfucker has so much hair gel that he has rooms in his house loaded with hair gel. He makes sure he has enough brushes and enough hair gel. And he has to make sure he has enough mirrors too, because he has to make sure every strand of that hair is slicked way back. Who else is gonna run? Who's gonna throw their themselves into that den of Democrats and just have them look like fools all together? I am so lucky to be alive and watching this. Like, I bet I think it's a cruel joke on us, because I think like Jesus is watching from above, and he's watching an episode, and every day's a new show. And I bet you anything, he's watching us from a television screen, a badass television screen, and he's sitting back eating popcorn, probably smoking a joint. I told him to have a joint ready for me, so when I go up there and I sit next to him, he better give me my joint so I can smoke with him, and I can tell him everything that has gone on in my life, and all the bad, all the good, and all the uglies. I'm looking forward to it. But man, it's gonna be very interesting for 2028. I would love Trump to be able to run a third term. They fucked him over the first one. Like they it was just horrible. It was so horrible that they released a pandemic and tried to kill the world. That didn't work. And then you can see how they're just all brain dead and they're acting crazy, and they're like doing little Nazi salutes and talking very angry, not really positive, and very aggressive. I mean, that's what I felt. I felt a lot of aggressive energy, unnecessary. For what? I mean, why is that tug of war? Why do we have to fight with stupid? Like, why we continue to fight with stupid? Like, this country should have had a fucking king. Maybe this country would be a lot better than what it is, because right now we're a bunch of Burger Kings. We ain't no good. And sometimes it's very disappointing. Maybe America should have had a king. Maybe America needs a king. Maybe Trump should be king, and as president, King Trump. It rings a bell, and the world respects him. He's right now on an Asian tour, and they're doing so much for him. The gratitude, the appreciation, the of level of gratitude, man, that us here in America don't even give. Don't even meet him at the airport to congratulate him and to say thank you. No. All we do is just bitch, whine, and complain. And you know who you are. They ain't me. That's for damn sure. That's crazy, man. That man done so much. So much for this country. Y'all won't understand how unappreciative Very unique times we're living in. Gotta figure shit out, man. I know Jesus is watching. He's always watching. It's like he watches, like I'm telling you, he watches this program. I'm pretty sure he's watching me. He's like, yeah, Rick, go ahead and tell him this. Okay, I'll go to the next story. Jesus, damn, man. Let's keep it moving. All right, let's get to the story.
On a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Here's your meme of the day, brought to you guys by 5mind.com. Oh boy, the Democrats are absolutely desperate at this point. They went from sticking their chests out, banging on their chests like angry gorillas. We're gonna take on Donald Trump, Mike Johnson, and the billionaires, as Bernie Sanders says it right. Donald Trump's corrupt billionaire legislation plan. They went from being all high and mighty with big claims. They were going to take him on, shut him down, get everything restored. They went from that to now it seems face planting so frickin' hard and now begging for a bailout. They held a clean continuing resolution bill hostage because supposedly Donald Trump was taking healthcare away from millions, billions and trillions of people will die because the billionaires. Typical incoherent Democrat babble. But the reality was, the Trump administration simply applied work requirements, as well as cutting out fraud, common sense stuff that, both parties used to support. But Democrats, of course, went full scorched earth for illegal immigrant health care, and they said they wanted it all back. The whole $1.5 trillion in spending cuts, they wanted it all back. They wanted to revert back to a Biden-era spending levels. The same thing that Hakeem Jeffries the other day claimed was a Republican talking point. But now, as it seems they've lost the narrative battle, and they are precipitously dropping in the polls, well, now it seems like they're begging for literal crumbs, with a top Democrat here now claiming that they'd be willing to actually just take $20 billion as opposed to $1.5 trillion. Holy freaking moly. This shows how desperate they are to just get anything at this point and save face. They caused all this damage. A massive government shutdown held the country hostage for now a $20 billion ask. A mere drop in the bucket in terms of government spending. Absolutely disgraceful stuff. Let me show you guys exactly what's going on. We got some stuff to get into.
I agree,
so
Rob.
Let's roll the tape. Okay, so I laid out the context there. I actually went on a little bit of a long-winded intro, but I think it's important.
Should be getting a third term.
Democrats, of course, they want $1.5 trillion. They want it all restored. But now, look at the compromise. Let me pull it up here. We got a piece from the New York Post that says, Senator Chris Murphy suggests Democrats could end shutdown if GOP agrees to a $20 billion deal. Far less than the prior $1.7 trillion ask. Yeah, you think? Holy frickin' moly. And it's no wonder that we're here. It's not like they had any leverage to begin with, being the minority party, and they couldn't even get full unanimous support from Democrats on this shutdown. We've had 3 dissenting Democrats on all the votes since day one. And it just goes to show how much of a farce this was. The way they drew that line in the sand, right? We want $1.5 trillion. It's life or death. To go from that to now a measly $20 billion? It's unreal. It's basically a confession that what they were fighting for in the first place was never existential, and they were in a losing position. And now they're clearly rummaging around looking for anything. I mean, literally anything. This is what I was saying the other day, right? When we were hearing about the backroom deal, supposedly with Mike Johnson, right?
He's complained that 4 leaders won't go in a back room, smoke-filled room, and make a deal. That's not how this works. I don't operate that way. When I became speaker, I vowed to my colleagues that we would return to regular order. I would decentralize the speaker's office, and it would not be a top-down, hoisted upon the membership kind of program anymore. This is a member-driven, consensus-driven operation. That's how the founders intended it to work. They did not want 4 people to go in a back room and make a deal.
Chuck Schumer hunting for a backroom deal behind the scenes, trying to save his own frickin' hide. Well, obviously, what they were looking for was to stop the little stunt here, and now trying to scavenge any dollar amount, because what they're looking for is the headline. They're looking for the news chyron that says, Democrats get $20 billion after shutdown negotiations. A lot of dumb people, right, who don't have the ability to understand perspective will see $20 billion and say, wow, that's so much money. Good job, Democrats. Not understanding that, what is that? Let's do basic math. Less than 5% of 1.5 trillion? What is that, like 1.5%? It's basically a 99% retreat. But they'll plaster that number everywhere and say, see, it was worth it. We fought for you guys. Oh, we went fighting. And of course, some Democrats are engaging in just the most insane copium you could imagine on social media. Actually, they're saying it's not $20 billion, it's $20 billion a year. And I saw someone say that that's $2 trillion over 10 years. First of all, what? 20 billion a year for 10 years is not $2 trillion. It's 200 billion. But they're trying to spin it into actually Democrats are going to get even more than they initially wanted in the 1.5 trillion.
If you don't know
it's
math, you're
unbelievable. What is wrong with you people? But clearly, at the end of the day, again, it's just about the headline. Democrats at this point, I think, would take $3. They would take an ice cream sandwich for Joe Biden if it means they could write a headline. It was all worth it. We caused billions of dollars in damages, hurt our own voters, and the most vulnerable in society. But don't worry, Joe Biden got an ice cream sandwich. We win. That's basically what this feels like. At least we got something, right? It's pathetic, and it's the lowest levels of politics. It's scum politics. And clearly it highlights once again that Democrats don't care about the suffering that they cause. They don't care about the damage that they inflict. No, it's just about the headlines. It's politics, using shutdowns and filibusters as blackmail tools. And just how awful this was. I mean, to hurt the very people that they pretend to champion, right? People on SNAP benefits, entry-level federal workers, people at the bottom of the economic scale. Democrats are always going on and on about those voters. Oh, we care so much about them. No, you're using them as political pawns in two ways. You get them to vote for you by giving them free crap, and then you pull their free crap in an effort to make them freak out and blame the Republicans. Democrats abuse low information, low IQ voters that they can manipulate to advance their agenda. And that's exactly what this was. But clearly their little despicable play here has failed. It's backfired spectacularly. You know, maybe not with everyone, but they certainly didn't convince a majority. At least you could see it in the polls. And right now my thought is the GOP shouldn't give an inch. Give them nothing. There should be no rewards for hostage politics. Not even a consolation prize. Democrats shouldn't be able to walk away with $20 billion. They shouldn't be able to walk away with $2. After everything they did, the only thing that should happen is they should reopen government, get back to negotiations
I should be able to throw those
proper way,
pennies at 'em.
and then hopefully walk straight into the most disastrous 2026 midterm loss of all time. This is a political party, a movement that just needs a moment of reckoning. There should be no rewards for their actions. Just a very clear message.
Less than a week.
Stop the theater. Stop this politics of hyperbole, exaggeration, hostage-taking, fake existential crises, and get back to frickin' work. Let common sense back in the building, please. All this frickin' chest thumping, exercising really the nuclear option here in terms of legislation. For what? A $20 billion headline. To be begging on your knees in such pathetic fashion.
8 days
Honestly,
away.
I find it disgusting. It's pitiful. And the idea that anybody supports this, to me, is just unfathomable. How? Who are you? What is wrong with you? You got one party that isn't perfect, but at least they're working constantly in the interest of the country. And then you got the other side that's just playing frickin' games in the most malicious and dishonest ways. And if you can't see that, especially after this, well then I don't know. Honestly, I can't help you. But it's probably time to
stop it. Get some help.
Anyways, that's what I got for you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.
Man, I like this guy. This guy's really good. Let's see another episode of his.
Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Here's the meme of the day brought to you by 5mind.com. Oh, here we go with Gavin Newsom once again, possibly one of the biggest frauds
She came back, she took the test.
California's failed governor here seems to have stars in his eyes. He's all giddy that finally it seems like it's his time, right? It's his turn. All of a sudden, he's at the top of the ticket, being floated to run as the Democrat nominee in 2028. And so you know exactly what that means for Gavin, right? Immediately get to campaigning, but do so in a subtle and indirect manner, although I'd say I'd probably describe this as a not so subtle manner. In typical Gavin Newsom style, here he comes, debuting his latest act, right? A couple months ago, it was the Fight Donald Trump act, and now it's the humble character arc. It's funny how Gavin Newsom's like a freaking shapeshifter. Either he's a power-hungry political sociopath, or I guess he's got multiple personality disorder. I don't know what it is. But here we go. Gavin Newsom's latest routine, I think taking a cue from Joe Biden. Man, this guy is something else. Let me show you guys what's going on. We got some stuff to get into. So let's roll the tape. Okay, so in comes Gavin Newsom doing his best Joe Biden I had a stutter copycat strategy here. He's leading with the I had a learning disability. I only got 950 on my SAT, and now look at this. They're floating my name for president. Wow, I never thought I'd be here.
Idea that a guy who got 960 on his SAT that still struggles to read scripts that was always in the back of the classroom. The idea that you even throw that out is in and of itself extraordinary. Who the hell knows? I'm looking forward to who presents themselves in 2028 and who meets that moment. And that's the question for the American people.
Is it fair to say after the 2026 midterms, you're going to give it serious thought?
Yeah, I'd be lying otherwise. I'd just be lying, and I can't do that.
This guy is such a fraud, it's unbelievable. And notice how he said that this is the right business for him. In his mind, politics is business, right? Well, you know, I couldn't hack it in academics. I couldn't prove myself in the real world. And so I just became an actor in the game of politics. That's basically how I read that. And here he is playing the game with his whole relatable, you know, human, oh, I pulled myself up from my bootstraps, a real zero to hero, rags to riches story, a humble Gavin Newsom story. He's just a real hustler. Maybe not so much in the sense of hustling like working hard, more so in the sense of being a hustler, a by any means necessary get rich quick scheme kind of style. But this whole act of Gavin Newsom starting from the bottom is a complete joke. He's a Nepo baby. His father, of course, a high-powered lawyer, very connected in Democrat politics. His entire political career bankrolled by the Democrat establishment and billionaires. And I'm pretty sure by marriage, isn't Nancy Pelosi his aunt? Yeah, Gavin Newsom, who's had everything created for him, handed to him on a silver platter, started from the bottom. He's just a regular guy. And here he is trying to sell that on a podcast, speaking to an ex-NBA player.
But also, you know, it was also about paying the bills, man. And it was just like hustling. And so I was out there kind of raising myself, turning on the TV, started, you know, just getting obsessed, you know, sitting there with the, you know, the Wonder Bread and 5 stacks of,
hey, it's like the white
peanut butter
story.
Come on. Kraft macaroni and cheese.
Bro. Are you talking about me?
Young YG.
YG, man.
Every day in the backyard, just bouncing the basketball, throwing the ball against the wall until the ball is just like fraying, man. And your arms fall off. That's it, whole thing. So just, and then, you know, then this student that was in the back with his head down, all of a sudden started throwing the baseball a little faster than everyone else. And started, you know, make a few free throws because I was sitting there practicing 500 of them every day night. And in high school, I look up in the stands, my dad's
hands are too excited.
And it's like, man, and then he's bringing his friends and you're captain of the team, and you're like, geez, you know.
Oh, I'm just like you guys. Oh, mac and cheese, humble beginnings, as he debuts his new street cool guy attitude, again appealing to the lowest common denominator and disingenuously trying to mobilize the black vote. I'm just like you, mac and cheese. Oh, mac and cheese. I mean, such phony pandering. We've seen it 1,000 times with these fake Democrats. Kamala Harris's weed and Tupac moment. Ooh, Snoop Dogg's and Tupac smoking the reefer. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez LARPing as a soulful black woman when she's on stage with Al Sharpton, or Hillary Clinton's little hot sauce tour. It's always a freaking costume with these people, nothing authentic. Yep. Gavin Newsom's got street cred. Yeah, not exactly. When you watch him play basketball, I think his street cred all but evaporates. Yeah, not so convinced, I'll tell you that much. Also, I don't know about you guys, but when it comes to presidential candidates, not exactly sure zero coordination, 2 left feet, no athletic talent, and 950 on the SATs is making it at the top of the list for me. You know, maybe I could look past the no talent and incompetent element if you had a proven political track record, but this guy, he might have the accolades and the titles, but in terms of governance, give me a freaking break. He's a failed governor, and that's of course probably what he's so desperately trying to avoid, but he doesn't want to draw attention to. No, he'd rather have you focus on his new accent, his new slang, his references of mac and cheese and 950 SAT scores and being at the back of the class. Anything but his actual track record, the wildfires that are out of control under his leadership, as California continuously fails to bring their power grid up to standard, spontaneous combustion freaking across the state, causing wildfire after wildfire. They're not clearing the forests, they're not doing fire prevention, they're not doing controlled burns, the fire hydrants don't work, they run out of freaking water in the reservoirs, they empty the reservoirs, and because of that, we saw the worst wildfire in modern history recently. Billions of dollars in damages. No, he doesn't want that to come in frame. Homelessness exploding. Well, he's had, what now, like a 2-decade-long initiative to battle homelessness? It's been billions of dollars again sunk into that, and things just continuously get worse. Then you've got the multi-billion-dollar railway system where they still haven't even broken dirt. He is a clown. Oh, and how could I forget the CDL scandal right now? Fraudulent commercial driver's licenses being handed like candy in the state to illegal migrants who have now caused multiple fatalities on American roads.
Federal audit found California had issued 62,000 CDLs to drivers who entered illegally, John, or do not have a permanent legal status as required by the feds. California sanctuary laws prohibit asking applicants their immigration status. Governor Newsom said there's not a problem. Back to you.
Did I hear you right? Did you say 62,000?
That's correct.
It's leading in disaster.
Oh my
sure, let's
God.
just talk mac and cheese and my basketball.
62,000 truck
I'm just
drivers.
like you. Look at my 950
My
SAT
God.
score. And somehow I miraculously ended up here through sheer will
That
and
is
talent.
not
No,
good.
you probably shouldn't
Imagine
be
all the
anywhere
other
near
states.
power, near leadership with a 950 freaking SAT
just
score. But
California.
you're there because you're a privileged, bought and paid for political puppet. A
Our states
Nepo
are
baby.
dangerous.
This is the Democrat Party, folks. Brand management, not governance. The business of politics, as Gavin Newsom said. It's all about the hair, the suit, going to the fancy schmancy restaurants while you're locked in your home during COVID, right? Boozing and schmoozing with the celebrities in Hollywood. Policy schmolicy, right? What an utter disaster. And you can just feel it. This guy wants to be president so bad, it just oozes off of him. And you could tell that hunger is not conviction. It's not like President Trump, sacrificing everything because he wants to become president to do right by the country and its citizens. No, it's ego. It's all calculated. It's Hollywood. This guy is the biggest fraud I've ever seen. Anyways, that's what I got for you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next
Thanks,
one.
Libro Hive Mind. Very good episode. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Let's take a look at this break-in at the luge. We got some video with some sound. So this is gonna sound pretty interesting, okay? So let me change the camera view so it can be a little bigger here. There we go. And if you want to put up the volume a little bit, I'm not going to say a word, okay? I want you guys to listen to this. How long is this? Give me 1 sec, I'll tell you. How long is this? 7 minutes and 32 seconds, okay? So in that amount of time, I'm going to be quiet. You guys watch.
Suspects in a daring heist at the Louvre Museum are now in custody. One of those suspects was arrested yesterday at the main airport in Paris. Officials say he was trying to fly to Algeria. The suspects broke into the Louvre last week, stealing $100 million in historical jewelry. Both men are reportedly from a Paris suburb.
The Louvre Museum heist shocked the world when thieves made off with $88 million worth of priceless jewels. 4 suspects were involved, but only 2 have been arrested so far. Authorities say the men carried out a daring daylight robbery, entering the museum disguised as maintenance workers. The audacity of the crime stunned both Parisians and international observers.
Oh my
as
God.
the Louvre is considered one of the most secure museums.
And there's
in
people
the
with
world.
cameras filming this.
Each new detail that emerges paints a picture of a
Look at
carefully
this, look at
planned
this.
operation, highlighting both the boldness of the suspects
Whoa.
and the vulnerabilities in even the most protected institutions. Today, we're breaking down everything we know about the suspects, their backgrounds, and the ongoing hunt for the thieves who are still at large. Two of the suspects
He's
are
hurt.
now in police custody.
One that fell?
One was arrested at Charles de Gaulle Airport while attempting to leave France, and the other was apprehended in a suburb of Paris. Both men are in their 30s and have prior criminal records connected to theft, robbery, and other serious offenses. Investigators say that forensic evidence found at the scene, combined with high-resolution CCTV footage, was crucial in identifying them. Authorities are now working to reconstruct their movements leading up to the heist, including how they gained access to sensitive areas of the museum and coordinated their escape. This level of planning suggests that the suspects may have experience in high-value, high-stakes thefts, raising questions about whether they had inside help or were part of a larger organized network. The manhunt continues for the remaining two suspects who are still at large. Authorities have released sketches and limited details to the public, urging anyone with information to come forward.
In the end, it certainly wasn't brilliance that brought these two thieves down, but rather their mistakes. This so-called Hollywood heist was anything but flawless or discreet, the gang leaving behind a very long trail of clues, up to 150 traces of DNA, and a diamond and emerald-studded crown that was dropped during that audacious getaway, which also happened to be captured on camera. Now, it was that trail of evidence that led specialist police to two men who are right now in custody after an international manhunt spanning almost a week. Now, we understand those detectives had been monitoring their every move for several days, but decided to swoop when they received intelligence that the pair were trying to leave the country. Now, one was stopped at Charles de Gaulle Airport with a ticket to Algeria. The other, a French national, well, he was tracked down in the northern suburbs of Paris, trying to head to Mali in West Africa. We understand both those men are aged in their 30s and both have a very long criminal rap sheet, though certainly nothing as daring as this. It was last Sunday local time that gang of four stormed the Louvre using a mechanical ladder to hoist their way into the Apollo room, which is of course home to those crown jewels. It was inside. They smashed through the cabinets, taking off with 8 precious artifacts worth up to $150 million. Now, sadly, those artifacts still haven't been found. However, it will be the number one question on detectives' mind as they prepare to grill these two suspects in custody. They're now staring down the barrel of a 96-hour interview.
Police are combing the city and surrounding regions using surveillance cameras, license plate tracking, and witness reports. The search has involved roadblocks, intensive patrols, and collaboration with international agencies, highlighting the seriousness and scale of this ongoing investigation. Every day brings new leads, but the remaining suspects are believed to be highly cautious, making the job of law enforcement even more challenging. Experts warn that the sophistication of the operation means these suspects are likely
Look how far this guy fell. Look right here.
Some time.
Boom.
Experts describe the operation as
He
highly
landed
professional.
hard.
The thieves bypassed sophisticated security systems.
He hit hard.
cut
That's
through
a
reinforced glass
very tall
cases
fall.
with precision and escaped
You see,
on
look, he
motorbikes
fell
in
over.
under 8
Look, he
minutes.
fell over the bike.
Analysts
on the
believe the
bike, he came
suspects
to his
likely
leg
had
over.
inside knowledge of the museum's layout and potential security gaps.
Oh my
This was
God.
clearly a meticulously planned heist, rather than a random crime of opportunity. Some speculate that the operation may have involved a network of individuals with expertise in high-value jewel theft. This level of preparation, combined with the speed and efficiency of the escape, has left investigators and the public alike both amazed and alarmed. The stolen items themselves are of extraordinary historical significance. Among the pieces taken were a diamond and emerald crown belonging to Empress Eugenie, a sapphire necklace and earrings once worn by Queen Hortense, a necklace gifted by Napoleon to Marie-Louise, and a brooch from Empress Eugenie. These are not just valuable in monetary terms, they are priceless cultural treasures with centuries of history. Some of the jewels have survived wars, revolutions, and previous attempts at theft, which makes this heist all the more shocking.
Wow.
Authorities are now focused not only on apprehending the suspects, but also on recovering these irreplaceable artifacts, which hold immense significance for France and the world. The arrest of 2 suspects is a major development, but the story is far from over. With 2 suspects still free and millions of euros in stolen jewels unaccounted for, authorities are warning the public to remain vigilant. Officials have promised to recover every piece of stolen property and bring all involved to justice. As more details emerge, the world watches closely, fascinated and horrified by one of the most audacious heists in recent history.
Unbreakable.
The investigation is ongoing, and every new lead could bring the remaining suspects closer to capture. Meanwhile, experts and museum officials are analyzing the heist to prevent future incidents,
Oh my God,
acknowledging that even the most secure institutions can be vulnerable under certain conditions.
Wow.
This story continues to develop, and with each passing day, new insights emerge about the suspects, their possible connections, and the elaborate planning that went into this crime. The public remains captivated, following every update, as law enforcement races against time to bring all the perpetrators to justice.
Oh my God.
The Louvre heist has not only exposed gaps in security, but has also sparked worldwide discussions about the protection of cultural treasures. As authorities dig deeper into the suspects' backgrounds, the coming weeks may reveal shocking new information that could change everything we think we know about this audacious robbery.
That is crazy. Oh my gosh. Ooh. That's just crazy. How could you? Oh my God. That you saw how tall that guy fell from? He fell from the top of the crane. And that floor is concrete. Look, I could go back and we're gonna play that bitch slow-mo. Hold on, where is it at? Here it is. We're gonna come back over here and we're gonna watch that fall in slow-mo. Let's see here. Let's see. Let's come back to about right here. Let's take off the volume. Let me pause it. I want to see when the guy dropped to the floor, which is right here. Right here. And you know how we do it on my channel. You ready for this? Hold on. Let's go back a little bit. Like right there. You know how we do this here on My Mind Over Your Matter. We're going to go slow-mo. All right. So I got it all set up for slow-mo. And here we go. We're going to see how tall this guy fell from the top here of the crane straight down and landed on his feet. Right here. Look. Like, oh, boom. And landed on his feet. He's the one that got hurt. Look at this. Why these people are hanging? Like, what in the fuck is going on here? What the fuck is that they got on their hand? I mean, you couldn't go for the lightest shit? You went for like the most heaviest thing? And the one that fell, look. He can't even look. He land like he can't look. He can't even get on the bike. He's injured. Look, he's trying to like get himself over. He jumped up and he just couldn't. So he just sit on that leg and just drive, man. Just drive. I'm fucked up, man. Just go. Like, what the fuck? And look at these two. Like, this was a whole operation, man. This was well-planned operation. Fact 2 got arrested. It's not good. But it's just crazy. Here, I'll show you guys. I even had the fucking. Let me show you guys. Here we go. Oh, let me rewind it back. So we're gonna see it. Let's do this shit slow mo. I didn't even notice that you guys weren't even looking. We're gonna do it all over again. Watch. Look at this shit. Hey, Chloe. Watch this. Watch this guy fall from way up here and land all the way down, and then he lands on his feet. Watch. Here we go. Right here. Whoa, whoa. Oh, shit. Oh, no. Oh! Oh, Superman that shit to the floor. He Superman that shit to the floor. And he gets back up. And he's like, oh, fuck. The other one jumped. You saw the other one jumped onto the crane? He was like, fuck that shit. I mean, yo, I want to see that one more time. Hold on. Let's do this again. Here we go. Watch. He's like, okay, let me get on the crane. He's about to take a step. Oh no, I didn't get on. Oh shit. Oh shit. I didn't. Boom. Superman. That fucking landing. And he landed on his feet. Like, but he fucked something up because I know landing from that tall. How tall you think that is? About what? 15 feet more? It's about what? 20, 25 feet? Because that's pretty tall. And he was going down with momentum. It wasn't like he was slow, like he slowed down. No, he came with momentum. Gravity was not kind to this individual. Now, let's check out the other ones. Look at this guy. He comes and he jumps right on to the heat. Wait a minute. I'm watching this super slow-mo. Here goes the fall. He jumps and he, whoa. Oh, shit. Oh. And then Superman, his fall. And then you see this guy here, some guy here goes to here and then just floats over here and lands over here and does some shit. It looks so magical. And even it's too fast for slow-mo. Like, I can't go slow-mo. I can't go slower than what the speed they provided me. Damn, I wish I could go a little bit more slower. Like, you see, it only gives you to 2.5. You can't slow it down to like 0.10, you know, and you would see it super slow-mo. But that's something that YouTube needs to work on. It's just this slow-mo is too fast. All right, let's keep it going. Here comes this guy. Look at this. He goes over here and look. What the fuck? How the hell did he? Wait a minute. Is this some Spider-Man shit? Wait a minute. I gotta rewind that. Okay, this guy's coming down. Right? Like, this is all like Superman shit. Watch how he lands. Right? Boom. And then here comes the other guy. He goes like down, and then he just glides down to here. Look, and he's hanging. What the fuck is this? Yo, what is this? Are they even human? Are these people even human? This guy is fucked up. He's like, man, I'm fucked. That landing, he landed on his feet, but man, he's hurting. His feet are like, his ankles are probably fucking broken. Like, he's fucking like, he's hurting. And that's how he got to the bike, and he's like, oh fuck, my ankles. Oh, Shit, I'm hurting. Let me get up. He just jumped himself up there. Look, like superhuman. How the fuck? Who jumps up a bike like that? Look at his feet, right? Look at his feet, right? Here we go. Watch. Look at this superhuman shit. He just suddenly pops up on the bike. Look. What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? And then this guy, what the fuck is he doing? Like, what is this? Look at his feet are up in the air. Like, what is going on here? And then these two are standing by. Wait, I had to go back and watch that again. All right, we already did the Superman. Oh, here, look. That's superhuman. That fall. And the way they broke in, that's so sad. Like, I want to see it in slow motion, the way they broke in and stuff. They lowering the crane. There has to be a crane operator. And they're just walking through. But ain't there a bar there? I don't understand this. Okay. I didn't see the ropes. Where the fuck these ropes came from? Yo, they're giving me half-ass stories. Like, they make it too fast. That you don't know this shit, but where the fuck those ropes came from? Like, this is some fucking Batman fucking movie type of shit. Look at this. What the fuck are they doing? And they're filming them. Look at the phone right here. Like, you're being recorded at all angles because this place has cameras too. And we're watching this in super slow-mo. He's telling him something. I don't know what he's telling. And then these two, they're like, yo, we got some Jews. All right. Yo, let's Spider-Man this bitch out of here. Let's Batman this shit. These are the bad guys. These are the jokers. Where did they get these ropes from? And then this is another crew, another side. This guy does the most drop I ever seen in my life right here. Watch. Whoa! He went to hold on. He's like, oh shit. Oh shit. And he just falls. Boom. And lands on his feet. Like, what the fuck am I watching here? Like, is this some kind of like mutants? Are these like super mutants? Like, look at the guy here. He goes through here and he just like does this little glide. Like, he glides through the air. Like, glides and then lands and then like holds on and pulls himself up. Like, look. Here you go. What the fuck is this? Look. I don't know. Let me take it out of slow-mo. Heist of the century. I mean, that was hey Chloe. Yeah, they're hybrids. I think they're hybrids. They're mutants. Super speed, yeah. Yeah. I put a super slow-mo, and you can see like him land on the floor, and then he gets up, and then he goes to the bike. You can tell he's hurt because he's fucking like, and then the way he jumped on the bike, like the way he got. Hold on, let's go back. Let's go back. The way he got back when he got on the bike. Okay, he's already fallen. He's gone there. You see, and then look how he jumped on the bike. Like, who jumps like that? And then it's like hurting, and it's like their two are on the bike. How can you drive that vehicle? You see, that's a scooter. So how he's like landed on the scooter thing. Let's do this super slow-mo. Oh, Ricky's going back to super slow-mo. Yep. We got to for this one. All right. So, I don't want to see that again. Okay, here. You see, it's a scooter. It's like one of those scooters. Let me see if I could take it back a little frame. Maybe right here. You see, it's like a scooter. Well, it's a bike. It's actually a bike. And how are you gonna this guy's gonna fall over on the bike? He can't get on the bike, and then he turns it on and he's just trying to drive it. Like, it just, here, look. Oh, you see? And then he kicks him. You see? Wait a minute. You see, when you go slow, you don't notice things, right? Like, when you go too fast, you don't see the things. You see, he kicked him. Look. Look, he kicks him. You see? That's his leg. That's his leg. And he's kicking him at his back. Like, to get over, or if he's hurt or whatever, to kick him off, to get him off of him. And then, you see how he put his foot down? And then he jumps on the bike, but he's just like, he couldn't get on properly. And then this one, he can't get on the bike properly. So it's like he turned on the bike, and then he's just go. And they're both on the bike. Like, are those the two that they caught? That would be my question. Are those the two that they caught? Because the exit was the execution of removal of the jewels. Give it a 9.5. They did well, I don't know what type of glass they use to cover those jewels. You would think they would put, if those things are worth millions upon millions of dollars, wouldn't you put some kind of like shatterproof over like really protective glass that is unpenetrable? Like, you can't cut it, you can't, like, hello. But we'll see what happens. All right, let me make sure I get that out of slow-mo. And we're going to continue on with the news. Let's see what else we got. Let me see what this is. Let's move this over here. All right, let's check this out here. Set this up. It's Halloween. My camera's acting crazy.
Are suffering as Democrats try to defend keeping the government shut down. 27 days, the second longest shutdown in U.S. history. Nearly 42 million people who rely on federal food benefits will not get them beginning November 1st. We have food insecurity in this country. and it potentially could explode.
Especially with the disabled.
Pitch in now. I'm Harris Faulkner. You are in the Faulkner Focus. The Agricultural Department posted this scathing message, quote, Senate Democrats have now voted 12 times to not fund the food stamp program. Bottom line, the well has run dry. November 1st is also the day when Obamacare open enrollment begins, with Democrats holding out over subsidies for some premiums. Essential air service funding for rural and remote communities will run out. That service is crucial enough that the Transportation Department has tapped $42 million to avoid a lapse earlier this month. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent making it very clear where the blame and responsibility lie.
They've dug in. The American people are hostage to Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries' poll numbers. Both of the two guys from Brooklyn, like I call them, are worried about being primaried from the left. 52 Republican senators have voted 11 times to reopen the government. 3 brave, moderate Democrats have come across the aisle. So, I call on moderate Democratic senators to end this craziness. You'll be heroes.
Imagine having to be brave to have your own point of view in a political party, the one that you belong to. Well, you heard him there, Scott Bessent, and here's one of those brave Democrats, Senator John Fetterman, going after the Democrats, his own party, again.
I do believe that there's a critical mass of my fellow Democrats that are dug in, and now until there's an absolute ironclad kind of a deal, I do believe we could have a sincere conversation, after we can open it up. And then we don't have to do this 3-card Monte about, do this, do that, do the other thing. Let's just open it up.
Senior congressional correspondent Chad Pergram on Capitol Hill. Chad.
Harris, good morning. There are no talks, no negotiations, and barring an emergency, that means the government is closed for at least another week. Senate Democrats have blocked an interim spending bill 12 times now.
We have no ability. Republicans do not have the ability to do this on our own. It's a simple math problem. We need Democrats to help. You need 60 votes in the Senate.
They blame the Republicans. But they blame us.
Democrats are the ones voting repeatedly to shut down the government.
Oh, it's your
Food
fault. We don't
benefits
like
are
getting
expiring.
EBT.
An
No,
anonymous
it's not
donor
true.
is
It's the
sending
Democrats.
$130 million to pay every service member
Democrats don't want to
$100
vote.
during the shutdown. TSA says, quote, the longer the shutdown goes, the more severe the impact on our TSA workforce.
That's not
Democrats
good.
demand guarantees from the president that he will not cancel spending after the fact if they reopen the government.
We've seen since January 20 canceling economic development projects in our state that were authorized and appropriated, pulling back public health funds that were authorized and appropriated. We need President Trump to agree that if we shake hands on a deal, he will honor it.
Now, the House has been out since September 19th. Democrats are concerned about Congress ceding power to the president, but Republicans say Democrats can blame themselves.
Senator Kaine and his colleagues have literally given the administration and Donald J. Trump all the authority they need to do what they have to do to make the difficult choices that are going to have to be made to make sure that the essential services are still provided. And that decision will be between essential and non-essential.
Everett Kelly is the head of the American Federation of Government Employees. He says it is time to end the shutdown. But even passing the temporary spending bill is a problem. Adoption of that bill would only fund the government through November 21st. Harris?
Chad Pergram, thank you. Senator Tom Cotton of the great state of Arkansas is in focus. Chairman of the Senate Republican Conference, also a member of the Senate Armed Services and Joint Economic Committees. Good to have you in focus. I've been checking with food banks since Friday. The checks stopped coming November 1st.
Yo,
is
what's
around
up,
the corner,
Sabin?
and I understand that the need for, because of food insecurity
I think it's
in
fucked
this
up.
country, The need is huge. It is
Because they
mighty,
should
and we
still
must
be
meet
funding for
it. Talk
disabled
to me about the moment that we're in, Senator.
and for like seniors that need the food.
Well, Harris, the pain and the hardships from the Schumer shutdown continue to pile up, yet the Democrats seem to view this as a political game. Chuck Schumer said recently that every day gets better for us being the Democrats. A House Democratic leader just last week said they want to use needy families as leverage to get a better deal. Republicans don't think we should be using needy families as leverage. We think we should help them get the food they need. And the simplest way to do that is for the Democrats to reopen the government. But as this goes on, the Trump administration has done its best to try to minimize these hardships, but ultimately it starts to run out of funds and run up against the bounds of law, and there's really nothing more they can do. In Arkansas, for instance, we have nearly 250,000 families that are on the WIC nutrition program for poor young women and children, the food stamp program. We have over 6,000 National Guardsmen who are worried about their next paycheck. I spoke to one on Friday night in Clarksville, Arkansas, who was very happy that President Trump was able to find the funds for the last round of paychecks for our troops, but very worried about what it means for this next round. So the Democrats need to take the responsible step here. They need to come to their senses and open the government. And at that point, we can debate anything else they want to discuss. But the hardships are piling up for the people of Arkansas and all across this country.
And I know many members of our audience may know it, but to remind them,
They better not hold it up until November 4th.
And when you talk about what a shutdown does to readiness, to national security, you know what you speak. This is a dire moment. I mentioned calling food banks in my home state of New Jersey.
We're going to be going to jail.
Democrats done the calculus on how this is going to hurt.
They're going
the
to be
governor's
robbing
race is
food
right around the corner, and this will be an issue. I guarantee it. The food insecurity, as you mentioned in Arkansas, is huge. It's all over America. Living paycheck to paycheck happens for people, and now the checks have stopped.
Yeah, Harris, it's exactly right. Again, you saw the callousness of Democrats last week when a House Democratic leader said they'd use needy families and nutritional needs as leverage to try to get something from President Trump and Republicans. Look at what they proposed to fund the government, over $1.5 trillion of new spending, as well as taxpayer-financed health care for illegal aliens. And as much as I heard from people in Arkansas over the last few days, like that National Guardsman in Clarksville, I also heard from Arkansans who said, don't capitulate to these absurd demands from the Democrats. Because also at root, they know the Democrats are not really demanding changes to the health care system. What they're doing is raging against President Trump and the American people who elected him.
Yep.
That's no way to try to do the people's business. They need to open the government. Even one of the largest public employee unions, a traditional mainstay of the Democratic Party, has called for them to open the government. And then we can debate whatever issues the Democrats want.
Well, look, a new opinion piece is suggesting that Republicans may, quote, go nuclear to end the shutdown, which would mean ending the filibuster and removing the 60-vote threshold. Members of your own party have different ideas about what this would take. I talked with Senator Lankford about this on Friday, and he put a bill forth to do this previously. Is this where we are right now? And do you think Americans would welcome it?
I would.
No, Harris, we're not going to end the filibuster on a short-term funding bill. Frankly, we're not going to end the filibuster over anything in this Congress. That's what the Democrats want to do. They've wanted to do it forever. Now they're goading and baiting Republicans to eliminate the filibuster, which has been a way for more than 200 years to try to forge consensus and compromise on our broad, diverse country, because they want it to achieve their long-held goals, and they don't want to take responsibility for it.
But they need to take responsibility.
Senator, I'm just going to cut in for time here. If you get rid of this, though, does it mean that we don't ever face a shutdown again?
Well, it would mean that you never face a supermajority vote in the Senate again. And if you eliminate it for a 4-week funding bill, the Democrats, they take power, will use it to make Washington, D.C. a state, to get 2 senators in perpetuity.
Yeah, that's true, too.
The Supreme Court. They'll use it to impose California's voting laws on the entire country.
They just need to go in there and just reopen it.
Relinquish it again. We don't need to eliminate the filibuster. The Democrat needs to come to the senses and give a few more votes to open the government.
Yeah, that's what it takes.
All right, Senator, it is great to have you, Chairman.
It's to extend it for 7 weeks.
Very much.
It's not a big deal.
Thank you, Harris.
It's just
hey
to
everyone,
extend it
I'm
for
Emily
7 weeks.
Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered.
Emily. It's only for 7 weeks. That's all they're gonna open it for. And the Democrats, I gotta fix my. I need the flames. I need the flames. This is very Halloweenish. It's like, let me see if I gotta put it up close. I guess there we go. So I have the flames of focus. It's right here. But to think, right? Let's do a deep dive. The Democrats are blaming the Republicans for them not having their EBT / food stamp / SNAP, whatever they want to use. It's a government nutritional program, and they are going to go and riot at Walmart. They're already threatening to go on November 1st, 2nd, and 3rd to load up their carts and walk out of Walmart. Are they really going to do this? I mean, it's like a civil war, right? It's like the Hunger Games. It's like, are you really going to put all these people and arrest them for stealing food? Because they already were stealing food through their food stamps because they were getting thousands upon thousands of dollars. Shit, I wish I was getting $1,000 food stamps. Shouldn't give you jack shit. They give you a little bit of money. But it's a little money that helps, you know? And the fact that the program is just now it's out, it's like, what the fuck now? It's like, what's the plan? We got a couple of days to figure it out, you know? It's like, oh, goodness gracious. I don't know. You put idiots in charge and to run a government, and they don't even know how to fucking run a government. The fucking Democrats just come in here and they're just so soiled and so negative in their thinking that they're like, yeah, let's close the government down. Yay. Let's bring in this, what's your name? Zohan? Okay, Madami? Oh, Madami! Like, are you kidding me? It's like a rigged system. They rigged the system. Their machines in New York is very questionable. Very, very, very questionable. I said it from the very beginning. If they don't audit those machines properly, like even the pumpkin is going crazy when I'm talking about this. Like I've never seen the pumpkin act like that in color. But they need to audit those machines. And the train of truth is here. My confirmation. Thank you. All right, let's keep it going. See what else we got here. Oh, let's see what's up with the hurricane. Oh no. We're back to the hurricane story. You know, that's something really big that's happening. Look, and my focus, I keep going out of focus. I don't know what's going on here. Yeah, give me the lights. Give me the light that I need. Give me the focus that I need to be in. Doesn't want to give it to me. He's playing with me. There we go. It's like I'm having a fight with the autofocus and with the freaking lighter here. What's going on, Rick? I don't know. But we're going to go check up on Melissa. I hate these fucking M storms.
Welcome back, everyone, here to Live Now from Fox. I'm your host, Mike Page. Always great to be with you as we continue to roll on right now. I want to give you a live look here at our radar system, showcasing just the huge and enormous Hurricane Melissa getting closer to Jamaica. This is from the National Hurricane Center, putting out this latest message saying, remain in your safe shelter. Do not venture outside. Catastrophic, life-threatening flash flooding, numerous landslides through Tuesday as Melissa's core moves ashore. We want to show you the latest update from the National Hurricane Center. Let's listen in.
On Monday afternoon with the latest here on potentially catastrophic Category 5 Hurricane Melissa, now located just about 140 miles southwest of Kingston, Jamaica, here in the Caribbean Sea. Very powerful hurricane this afternoon with maximum sustained winds of around 175
I think the
miles
worst
per
is
hour.
going to
You see
hit the
low
west
flying
side,
eye
though.
here in satellite imagery. And Melissa has started to move
East
a little
side got
more to the
lucky.
north now. The motion is around northwest at about 3 miles per hour. If you remember earlier today, it was moving west. So we're starting to see that turn to the north and then the northeast. It's going to bring the center of Melissa to the south coast of Jamaica early Tuesday morning. We're going to first focus on the multiple life-threatening
I'm going to try
hazards
to be
that
on
are
here
in play for
tomorrow
Jamaica. We have
morning.
a hurricane warning.
So we might do a
The
wake and
forecast
bake
track of
tomorrow
Melissa
morning.
expected to bring the center to the coast sometimes
Wake and bake with a side
early
of
Tuesday.
coffee.
We're expecting destructive winds in the eye wall of Melissa as it makes
If you want to
landfall
come
and moves
on with
across
me,
the island. So we can have
you can
complete
watch. You can watch.
damage, destruction of,
Do a wake and bake.
shelters, homes.
I got an early
buildings,
appointment
in the
for
path of
physical
that eye
therapy.
wall, not just along the coast, but in areas of high terrain across the central part of the island as the center of Melissa moves across the island during the
This is
day
going to be
on Tuesday.
horrible.
So that hurricane warning is in place.
A lot of
Everyone in
mudslides.
Jamaica needs to be in their safe place now to ride out the storm all the way through tomorrow. We're also very concerned about the potential for life-threatening storm surge inundation near and to the right of where the center crosses the south coast early tomorrow, with the potential for 9 to 13 feet of inundation, especially in areas like the Black River Bay and farther east. And we're also expecting destructive wave action along the coast as well, and significant storm surge all the way well east of the center over in the Kingston area. In terms of the rainfall threat, we've been talking about this for several days. The potential for widespread rainfall totals of 15 to 30 inches. This area you see highlighted in pink is a 20 to 30 inch rainfall forecast. So very dangerous.
Or Jamaica.
Life-threatening, catastrophic flash flooding, widespread landslides expected across Jamaica. We could see some isolated locations that have rainfall totals in excess of 40 inches, especially near where the core of Melissa moves across the island.
A lot of livestock is going to die. A lot of people are going to die. It just sucks.
So
you know, I wish the best. You know, I want to push it away. If I could push it away and push it to Cuba, but you don't want this big piece to go to Cuba either.
That heavy rainfall threat.
And Jamaica has high mountains.
Hispaniola. We are
So-
expecting Melissa after it moves off the north coast of Jamaica to make landfall.
Let's see what happens.
In southeastern Cuba sometime overnight Tuesday night and Wednesday morning as a major hurricane. So we have hurricane warnings in effect from Granma and Holguin provinces eastward to Guantanamo. And then beyond that, now we have new hurricane
Guantanamo
warnings that have been
gonna get
issued
it.
for the central and southeastern Bahamas, expecting Melissa to move through those areas.
Probably get
the
some video
southeastern
from
Bahamas as a
Guantanamo.
hurricane as we go from Wednesday afternoon into Wednesday night and Thursday. Switching to the rainfall forecast here, in portions of eastern Cuba, very, very heavy rainfall expected, 10 to 20 inches, isolated amounts as high as 25 inches. Again, catastrophic flash flooding and landslides likely. And back here in Hispaniola, expecting some portions of southwestern Haiti to again see possible rainfall totals as high as 40 inches, expecting 6
But they know how to
12
survive.
additional inches in
You know, it's a
southern
big
portions of the
storm.
Dominican Republic and the
But
southwest
they'll find a
peninsula of
way.
Haiti. So that rainfall threat
They'll help each other.
Hispaniola is going to continue well into Tuesday and even Wednesday as the center of Melissa moves out into the Atlantic.
But I
And then if
think
we
a
look
lot
out
of
even
people are not
longer
gonna
in
make
time,
it.
we could see Melissa threaten Bermuda later in the week in the Thursday to Thursday night time
That's
frame.
crazy.
So just wrapping up with the key messages here on this Monday
It's like a
afternoon,
goodbye, like a
focusing
goodbye.
on Jamaica, everybody there needs
Crash
to
into
remain
Bermuda.
in safe shelter. Do not venture outside with catastrophic life-threatening flash flooding and numerous landslides expected through Tuesday. The eye wall will bring destructive winds on shore, not just at the coast, but into mountainous areas as well. Do not go out in the eye as it passes over your area. The forward speed of Melissa is going to increase, and the eye is going to start to move very quickly across the island. And this is going to lead to widespread infrastructure damage, prolonged power outages, communication outages, and isolated communities. So it's going to be a very dangerous post-storm environment. So for residents in all these areas, please heed advice from your local government officials, your local meteorological service, and keep coming back here to the National Hurricane Center at hurricanes.gov for the latest on Melissa. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Brennan.
That's wild.
Thanks always to Michael Brennan there for breaking it down with
Look
the
at that.
National Hurricane Center. Another live look here at the radar. We'll continue to be giving you updates throughout the evening.
That is wild. Look, this is a strong system, man. I lived through Hurricane Andrew, and Hurricane Andrew, it looked as crazy as this. but Andrew looked more like a buzzsaw, right? This one looks more like a bowling ball. You know, and why I say that is, look at this here. Okay. What's the first thing that comes to mind? What it looks like? It looks like a fucking pink donut. It looks like a pink donut. It looks like a bowling ball, like a pink bowling ball. But that's the image it gives me. Like, it looks like a bowling ball. It looks like but it's a very strong very strong bowling ball, and very fierce. Look at this. Oh my god, it's getting such hot water right now. Like, this is just feeding the storm, man. Holy shit. Jamaica, you might be getting maybe close to maybe 185. I hope not. I'm really hoping not, but this is gonna be an overachiever. Look at the pinks. The pinks are rotating. That is such high cold cloud tops that's getting into the stratosphere, and it's turning pink. And that's the one of the coldest is and it's dark pink. It's like turning dark pink. In some areas are getting like really dark pink. This is crazy, man. This storm is an overachiever, and I fear for the people of freaking Haiti. Not Haiti. Well, Haiti too, because Haiti's gonna get some rain, and Haiti, 5 people already died in Haiti because of the floods. So Haiti, you gotta be careful, because if it moves towards the north and then move to the northeast, you're gonna get a lot of rain from the tail. And we're talking about the backside of the storm, which it's more concerning for Haiti. Is this part right here. This part right here is going to start moving up north, and it moves this way and comes this way towards Guantanamo area, this side of Cuba. Then this part you see here is going to go to Haiti, and that's going to bring just crazy amount of rain and flooding, and it can kill a lot of people because it already killed 5. So it's going to be a terrible, terrible thing for Jamaica. And I know a lot of people had their guard down. I subscribe to a user who's out there, but I think he's in Kingston, so he's going to be fine. But the west side of Jamaica is going. The west side from the central to the west side is going to get severely hit. We're talking about 3 to 4 feet of rain. We're talking about mudslides as tall as 20 feet or more. Mudslides. We're talking about maybe the loss of humanity there, especially on the west side, and loss of stock, livestock. If you have livestock and you hope for the best for them, but this could take them and could kill them. Man, what a horrible time, right? And everybody thought this hurricane season was so quiet. It was so weird, this hurricane season, super weird season. And now we're in October, at the end of October, and we're getting this strong Category 5 hurricane called Michelle. Well, Melissa, I mean Michelle. That'd probably be the future hurricane, Michelle. Melissa. And she's at 175. That's wild. That's scary. I fear for the people of Jamaica. I pray for the people of Jamaica. Now let's go and continue on with the news.
Russian President Vladimir Putin announced on Sunday that the Kremlin had successfully tested a new invincible nuclear-capable and powered cruise missile with an alleged unlimited range. Putin touted the test of the supposed doomsday weapon known in Russia as the Burevestnik missile, claiming it was invincible and capable of bypassing all current and future missile defense systems. In a video released by the Kremlin, Putin, dressed in military fatigues, instructed his country's top generals to start preparing the missile for potential use.
испытание крылатой ракеты неограниченной дальности «Буревестник» с ядерной энергетической установкой.
Unlimited range.
Знаю, что у меня есть доклад и со стороны
I don't think they want to fuck with the US.
известные оценки Министерства обороны. Это все-таки уникальное изделие, которого в мире ни у кого нет.
According to Putin's chief of the general staff of Russia's armed forces, Valery Gerasimov, the latest test of the missile flew
That's
in the
why
air
the
for
aliens
15
are here.
hours and covered a distance of about 8,700 miles, easily capable of reaching New York City or Washington, D.C. Little is actually known about the missile, which some have dubbed Flying Chernobyl. According to a 2019 report from the
New York, I'm an hour and a half
the
from New
subsonic
York.
cruise missile is designed to be powered internally by a miniature nuclear power plant, enabling it to fly farther and for longer at a speed less than the speed of sound. The Burevestnik, which in English translates to announcer of the storm, could conceptually stay in the air between 24 and 48 hours. If it were to be tactically launched, the missile would carry a nuclear warhead and circle the Earth at a low altitude to avoid missile defense systems. According to the International Institute for Strategic Studies, a Russian military journal suggested the missile could fly as far as 12,000 miles.
Yeah,
and
but
would
they'll
hover at
still
an
know.
altitude between 160 and 300 feet throughout its flight to evade air defenses. But despite
Yeah,
Moscow's
nah.
boasts, experts have said it remains
Still no.
unclear if the missile boasts all of the advances that Putin claims. The Burevestnik has had a poor test record in recent years, with 2 partial successes documented among the 13 known tests, according to the Nuclear Threat Initiative Advocacy Group. The missile also reportedly killed 5 nuclear engineers and 2 service members, following an explosion in 2019 during tests at a Navy White Sea base. Dr.
Wow.
Jeffrey Lewis, the director of the East Asia Non-Proliferation Project at the Middlebury Institute of International Studies and host of the Arms Control Wonk podcast, said the Burevestnik was not all it's cracked up to be.
The system is intended to defeat a missile defense. And so the idea is because it can fly for basically an unlimited range, then it can fly around defenses. On the other hand, you could build more defenses or you could use aircraft to go intercept them. So I don't think the system is invincible, but it's part of the deepening arms race that we're in, where they've come up with a new system and now we have to come up with something to shoot it down.
The Burevestnik's most recent test came after Putin directed a set of nuclear drills earlier in the week that featured practice launches of the Kremlin's nuclear-capable missile fleet, the largest in the world. In August, researchers had warned that Russia was planning a new missile test after satellite images revealed activity at Russia's Pankovo test site on the Barents Sea archipelago, including increases in personnel and equipment and ships and aircraft associated with earlier tests. Putin's special envoy said the Trump administration had been made aware of the successful missile test. While flying on Air Force One to Japan, President Trump issued a chilling warning to Putin in response to the missile test, while repeatedly demanding the Russian tyrant end the war in Ukraine.
They know we have a nuclear submarine, the greatest in the world, right off their shores. So, I mean, it doesn't have to go 8,000 miles. And they're not playing games with us. We're not playing games with them either.
Putin has previously declared that the Kremlin is free to use doomsday weapons against any nation, propped up by a nuclear power, a clear threat against NATO and the U.S. over their support of Ukraine. Meanwhile, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has upped his calls for the U.S. to supply his country with long-range missiles to force Putin to make peace. The Ukrainian president praised Trump's latest
I don't know.
Russia,
Something don't
saying
seem
they
right
will
with that
make
guy.
a difference, but warned that more
Think they're-
pressure was
they're
needed to
trying
bring
to
an end to the
push him, like
conflict,
Trump
which has been
fall
raging
for the
since
trap.
February 2022.
But I don't trust Ukraine.
In May, Trump announced a $175 billion Golden Dome missile defense system to shoot down short-range missiles aimed at the United States. Pentagon officials are aiming to test President Trump's space-based missile defense system in the fourth quarter of 2028. That timeframe lines up with Trump's ambitious goal to have it done in 3 years.
Wow, to have it done in 3 years. Oh, I'm fighting tonight. I think I'm gonna have to stay like this because I'm gonna be fighting myself all night. It's like, come on, man. Give it to me. I want to be seen. I don't want to be seen. I guess. Let's see. I don't want to tonight. There you go. It's weird. Tonight's been a little weird. Blame Trump. I blame Trump. The spirits, they telling me to blame Trump. That's why. I'm like, okay, I blame Trump. Okay, let's keep it moving. Got some more stuff to watch. So, see, it'll get a little bit more interesting. I think this is going to be weird. Here we go.
Well, Chicago's Democratic Mayor Brandon Johnson snapping at a reporter who used the phrase illegal alien. Watch.
We don't have illegal aliens. Yeah. I don't know if that's from some sort of sci-fi message that you would have had. Well, listen, the legal term for my people were slaves. You want me to use that term too? So look, let's just get the language right. We're talking about undocumented individuals that are human beings. The last thing that I'm going to do is accept the type of racist.
Black people weren't the only slaves
to describe human beings.
Excuse me. No, I take that offensive. No, black people were not the only slaves.
Undocumented presence in the
You
United
guys
States
are really
is
whacked.
not a criminal offense. And so thank you for the clarification on language.
While Johnson was focusing on language, chaos was unfolding in his city. Agitators confronted ICE and Border Patrol agents several times, and officials say they were forced to use tear gas to disperse the crowds. Acting ICE Director Todd Lyons addressed the dangers agents face on Saturday in America.
That's
I think
crazy.
a lot of this is, we need to have common sense conversations, right? We need to stop all the rhetoric. ICE is doing a law enforcement mission. That's what we are sworn to do, and that's what we are signed up to do. We don't want to be doxxed. We don't want our families threatened. We don't want assassination attempts like Brett pointed out. We're coming off a sniper attack in a major U.S. city where that lone sniper, that domestic terrorist, had an app
And these
that
people
showed the
have
location
jobs.
of ICE agents and officers that could be tracked. Yet they want to go ahead and demonize us, call us Nazis, call us Gestapos.
Yeah, and Kaylee, I haven't heard the mayor talk about the vernacular of demonizing ICE agents, but somehow he's fixated on the illegal alien phrase that is codified in our statutes.
Exactly. So his problem is nomenclature, language, wording of what we call illegal immigrants, illegal aliens, not what he and his governor have called ICE agents, who are heroic, who have found themselves under attack at that Dallas ICE facility where bullets rained down from someone who had an unequivocal motive to attack ICE. But his language concern is for the criminal illegal immigrant. What's amazing is Todd Lyons told me Saturday, hey, when I was in studio for Brett Baier, so too was Pritzker, the governor of Illinois. He said we were in the studio at the same time. And I said, did he know you were there? He said, no. He said, but I would have loved to just sit down and talk to him face to face. And you remember Brett Baier said to Governor Pritzker, would you go on a ride along with ICE? And he just kind of said, and I'm paraphrasing here, no, not interested, don't need that. And Todd Lyons said, I'd invite you and everyone to come with us to see what we're doing, to see the good work that we are doing. Take him up on that, Pritzker. You didn't get to talk to him in the DC bureau at Fox News. Go on a ride along, see what they're doing, instead of sitting in the safety of your studio and running your mouth and talking about Nazis in comparisons to our federal law enforcement.
Yeah, he said, no, I don't need to. I see it on the internet. Tommy, you guys cover this on the big weekend show, too. Tell us your thoughts.
Well, you make a great point. It's the same way Democrats didn't want to cover the wide open border until they were all but forced to. Remember when our Fox News cameras and drones and Bill Maloogian and others were down there covering the invasion, and the other Democrats and other mainstream media just wanted to look away. It's similar to them not wanting to go on the ICE ride along. Speaking about dehumanizing people, Nazis, Gestapo, that's what they call ICE agents. It's also what they call conservatives and President Trump, right? So again, please get out your violin for the illegal aliens. I will also say this.
The violin,
Mayor
I
Brandon
love it.
Johnson believes that illegal alien refers to a race. That's actually the racist part of this equation, because illegal alien is a category and a classification based on a voluntary action, not a skin color. So if you associate illegal alien with black or brown people, that's a you problem, Mayor.
But you know why he does that? Because like the word race, racism, the explosive wording on the left also includes slavery, the Holocaust. There's some words that they're hoping to trigger people with to get them on their side. So if one isn't working, they're going to use the next one. By the way, alien is in the Constitution. And it simply means it's a legal term for a person who is not a citizen or national of the United States. To say illegal alien, according to this following, would be redundant. But alien is in there. So when you say illegal alien, you're basically saying an illegal, which is true.
Yeah, and it's codified in the statutes. You know, I'm reminded of a friend of mine who took the
alien.
LSATs, and there was a question there
You
about
are
aliens, and she thought the
alien.
whole question was about like
You
Martian
are
aliens.
goodness.
Needless to say,
alien.
she didn't do well and didn't go to law school. But the whole point is, it's
Probably
sort
for
of
the
like,
best.
don't dabble in nomenclature if you're not prepared and understand what the legal ramifications are.
Is she in Congress now by any chance?
Oh my goodness.
Because it could be Pramila
Might as well
Jayapal.
be.
And a quick fact check on her. It actually is an unlawful criminal act to cross the border illegally, just to point that out. I am very confused on this slavery point that the mayor brought up. He said, the legal term for my people were slaves. Do you want me to use that term too?
It wouldn't apply.
What? Like, we do call people who were enslaved slaves. It's not a derogatory term. It's not a defense of the evil institution. But to my knowledge, there isn't some new politically correct term for slaves. They were slaves who were enslaved against their will, Tommy, to your point. Whereas
they didn't have a
illegal
color.
immigrants willfully engage in unlawful activity.
You understand
coming to
that
this country or
their
staying
own
in this
people
country
sold
against our
them
laws.
to
That
be
is such a
slaves.
morally bereft
So
comparison, but it's
I don't know what
legal
Brandon
instantly
Johnson is
to
coming
try
with
to
his
shut down a
bullshit.
conversation that they're losing, by the way. They're losing this discussion. They want to decriminalize illegal immigration. The American people were fed up with it. And to say, oh, yeah, to say illegal alien or illegal immigrant is somehow akin to slavery or that terminology is just insulting.
But
no one believes that.
If they cared that much, Guy and Emily, don't you think that they would have wanted to close the border? Do you know what was slavery in this country? What was happening to those young girls and women? The sex trafficking, turning them into sex slaves. That's a real thing. But I never heard it until it was political fire back at the other side.
Yep. Yeah. Always hypocrisy on the left.
Hey, it's Will Kane. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News channel
Very good
on YouTube.
episode.
It's the best way to get our latest.
But the last time I checked, slaves didn't have a color because lots of people were slaves back in those days, and there were white slaves, there were Spanish slaves, there were black slaves, and yeah, like I said earlier, the last time I checked history, your own people sold the blacks to the whites to take them on slavery. Okay, so get your fucking history right, Brandon Johnson bullshit. Like, get your shit right. You want to call my people slaves? How dare you? Like, I'm offended. Like, are you kidding me? Like, who the fuck who hired this theater kid to be mayor? Because he's doing a horrible job. Like, for real. It's like the kid was probably a failing kid. And then Chicago, they're stupid. They vote for fucking anything that moves at this point. I don't know if there's any hope for Chicago. It's just like New York. New York, we got elections coming up next week. So 8 days away. And we'll find out who's going to be the mayor of New York City. I tell you right now, it's going to be play a big role if I'm going to be going to New York or not for the next 4 years. At least the city. I'll go to the state. I'll probably go because I have family in Rochester. But other than that, I would not go to the city. I'll boycott it for 4 years. I ain't going to miss it. I already been there, done that. I don't like it. It's very dirty. It's very sleazy. Not fond of it at all. It's not for me. It's not my thing. It's just not my thing. Been there plenty of times, but do I want to go back? Am I like, oh my god, I really want to go back? No. Ain't happening. I'd rather watch paint dry on the wall. And that's how serious I'm about that. All right, let's continue watching the news because I want to finish up soon.
I can't wait to get going here. Gentlemen, good day to you on a Monday. Hello. Call for number 2. This is what we find in New. It's a blue state, right? Trump lost it by 6 points last year. He lost it by 16 points 5 years ago. By all accounts, this is going to be a close race, Jimmy.
Amen. And I am not from New Jersey, to be clear, but I've lost so much money in Atlantic City casinos, I should be allowed to vote in this election. So thanks for having me.
All right,
I've committed. I have skin in the game. I've been analyzing this from a very far outside metric, okay, as a radio guy. I'm still reacting daily to phone calls about Mikey Sherrill's interview with Charlemagne. You remember this, where the stock issue came up. She was asked if her family made $7 million, and she said she doesn't know. Okay, it was such a disastrous answer at the time that it still resonates with my show. Like, we talk, this is what I talk about. You guys talk about data. You guys talk about turnout, talk about previous elections. I'm talking about the reality that she was asked about possible corruption and said she didn't know. If I come home tonight at 3 in the morning and Jenny goes, "Where were you?" and I go, "I don't know," that doesn't work with Jenny. And that's where I think the black turnout might be something that plays an oversized role in determining a very close race, because that authenticity issue is where I feel like she's trailing. Chitterelli looks believable. You watch him and go, there's an efficiency to this man that wants to do stuff. Mikey Sherrill is running on what feels like an aftershock of the Kamala agenda. And I don't know if that's tangible in the real world. That might Chitterelli's best hope.
The radio show is your new cab.
Yeah, hey, how bad it really is. They just get it and dump it on you. Yeah,
they want to tell you. They want to tell you things.
Amen.
This is a New Jersey Democratic assemblyman who said this to the Washington Post. After Trump gains New Jersey's governor's race, offers a test for Democrats. He said, "I think that that a lot of individuals in urban communities have awakened to the fact that the party politics no longer works. The Democratic Party forced Dems to look at other options because of the inactivity and inaction of the things that they care about most," which is a little bit of also what Jimmy's been saying.
Yeah, look, I mean, Jack did a TV ad, and he comes out and goes, "How do you not know you made $7 million? Come on." And it's great. It's very Jersey. It's like, how do you not know you made $7 million? Like, give me a break. It just works. He's a Jersey guy. She's not from Jersey. The black voters, the Latino voters, absolutely, they have had it with the Democrat Party. Jack is doing very well with Latino voters. Donald Trump did very well with Latino voters. Donald Trump won Passaic County, New Jersey, because of Latino voters. And if the black male turnout is low for Mikey Sherrill, just like it was low for Kamala Harris, Jack Ciattarelli has a real solid shot of winning this race. And the issue of the money, you know why it matters? It matters because everybody else is getting screwed and paying more for everything. And she turns around and makes millions of dollars as a member of Congress by investing in the very stuff that, as a member of those committees, she had oversight of. And that's a problem for people. That is hypocrisy.
We will have the board fired up on Tuesday night. We'll watch it in real time here. From Chicago now, here's Brandon Johnson. He's up in arms about the term illegal alien and more.
We don't have illegal aliens. I don't know if that's from some sort of sci-fi message that you wish you've had. Well, listen, the legal term for my people were slaves. You want me to use that term too? So look, let's just get the language right. We're talking about undocumented individuals that are human beings. The last thing that I'm going to do is accept the type of racist.
He's so sensitive
to describe human beings.
Well, Jimmy,
they're human beings.
Brandon Johnson
He's so sensitive. Oh my God.
2% this morning.
We're so
I don't know if you
sensitive.
got the memo, but we're so done with the performative outrage as a political defense. You know what I mean by that? When he says, these are human beings you're using this terminology for, where is that human empathy for the people getting killed in Chicago? And that's the biggest problem he has, is people see through that now in a way they didn't 5 years ago. Like, I don't want to make this about me or my New York Times bestseller, Cancel Culture Dictionary, which is available everywhere and on audiobook. But America is tired of that moment where we were putting more emphasis on what you say than what you do. And when he goes out there and goes, "Oh, no, I'm protecting people," but he's not protecting people. And that's why that doesn't ring true.
Last word to you, Rich.
It's also the kind of thing where you go, okay, you give us a speech about the language, and then at the end of the day, you're spending millions of dollars on illegal immigrants, illegal aliens. So, yes, we know Halloween's coming, and he wants to make us all about the language and costumes, but the reality is that's dressing up the fact that he's spending millions of dollars on illegal aliens, and people are tired of this. This is why they've said enough is enough.
And I'm glad to see whole milk making a comeback. By the way,
there. The failures are bringing it back.
Rich, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Great to have you. Great team.
Click here to subscribe
Good
to Fox
episode.
News YouTube.
I mean, Brandon Johnson's a fucking idiot, okay? Like, enough said. Let's keep it moving.
It is day 27 of the government shutdown. Obamacare
subsidies continue to be the main sticking point. Grady Trimble on the Hill for us. Grady, you're looking at the promises made when Obamacare first rolled out to the cost of the program now. Huge difference, I take it. Take us through it.
Yes, that cost has gone up quite substantially, Stuart, and Democrats say these subsidies that they're shutting the government down over are worth fighting for, especially with open enrollment just days away and Obamacare premiums expected to go up. But Republicans say they're just going about it in the completely wrong way. So let's take a look at how we got here in the first place.
10 years from now, people will look back and say that this was the right thing to do.
But more than 10 years after President Obama said that about the Affordable Care Act, the debate rages on. Subsidies for his hallmark Obamacare legislation are at the heart of the government shutdown. It all started in 2010 when Obama signed it into law, promising it would make insurance more affordable and more accessible.
This legislation will also lower costs for families and for businesses and for the federal government, reducing our deficit by over $1 trillion in the next 2 decades.
Now, Republicans argue Obamacare has done the opposite, lowering the quality of health care, increasing deficits, and sending insurance premiums skyrocketing.
Obama promised you wouldn't lose your doctor. Oh, you did. You wouldn't lose your plan. You did. You're supposed to save $2,500 a family. That was a lie. We're supposed to save over $100 million in our federal budget. Look at how much this is all costing us. Everything, Obamacare was sold on lie.
The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office says permanently extending expanded Affordable Care Act subsidies would increase the budget deficit by around $350 billion in the next decade. Brian Blaze is president of the right-leaning think tank Paragon Health Institute.
These subsidies are structured to be inflationary. They go directly to health insurance companies. And because of that, insurers are able to raise premiums and prices and pass that cost on to the federal taxpayer.
Still, Democrats are dug in.
Absent the Affordable Care Act, premium costs and health care costs would be even higher than they are today.
And Republicans say tying the reopening of the government to the negotiations over these subsidies is a non-starter. So where this goes from here, Stuart, is anyone's guess.
Well, we're still stuck at this moment. Grady Trimble on Capitol Hill. Thanks, Grady.
That's wild. All right, let's keep it moving.
Sports figures, including NBA coaches and players, all under arrest because of a years-long sports betting sting. Investigators have revealed some of those allegedly rigged games happened inside a luxury New York townhouse in Greenwich Village, run by mafia associates and former players. Dozens of calls to 311, complaints from neighbors reportedly happening for years over loud parties and all-night gambling runs. Now, a resurfaced interview with former NBA champ Rasheed Wallace going viral, where he accuses referees of rigging games through, quote, secret emails. Joining me now is former NBA player and human rights activist Enes Kanter Freedom. Enes, it's great to see you. Welcome.
Of course, thank you for having me.
So you've been warning about these betting ties for years. You said this was inevitable. Fans are now questioning the integrity of the game. What do you know about this?
So all this comes down to one word: trust. Obviously, fans love basketball because they believe the games are real and honest, and all the players are given an honest effort. So if people started thinking gambling is affecting the outcome, the whole sports world is in trouble, actually. So right now, there are a few separate problems are happening.
I don't trust the NBA.
So one is gambling scams involving people around the league. That's criminal activity outside the game. And another issue is players being accused of faking injuries or not giving real efforts, missing shots on purpose. That hurts the fairness of the competition. And then there are leaks of private medical information before it becomes public. That's basically inside trading with injury news. Before the game, in the morning of the game, a medical team and the coaching staff sits down and have a conversation, and they decide who's going to play or not. And then after that, coach walks in the locker room and says, okay, you're playing, you're not playing, be ready for it. You're not allowed to leak that news. So when you play in NBA, you're protecting more than just a paycheck. You're protecting your name, your family, and your future. So if you're already wealthy and made over 100 million, risking everything for a small side payout is not just illegal, it's pointless. So you can lose your career and your reputation forever.
That's incredible. I mean, Congress is requesting a briefing from NBA Commissioner Adam Silver by this Friday. Congress wants him to explain the league's ties to these sports betting networks and how he's handling the scandal. You've actually called on Adam Silver to do even more. What do you want Adam Silver to do?
Yeah, they're gonna have to stop gambling.
No, the NBA. I mean, NBA is
on sports
to gambling because the league made business deals with sportsbook and built gambling into the game broadcast. So it's not just fans betting anymore. The league profits from it. So once you take gambling money, you're responsible for the fallout that comes with it. So when scandals happen, you cannot act surprised. You cannot promote betting for years. You cannot promote betting for years and then be shocked when it happens. So I think it all comes down to the leadership. Fans watch basketball because they trust the game is real. So if that trust is damaged, the person running the league has to be held accountable. So if the money starts feeling bigger than sports, right, then it's time for new leadership so that puts the game first. So, I mean, that's what I believe. I think Adam Silver should step down, and not out of hate, but because of leadership means owning the consequences of your decisions.
You know, it's interesting. The NBA has really, obviously, has not been a fan of President Trump, and they've been all in on China. I mean, these are some of the issues that you dealt with when you were a player. You pushed back on China and basically were pushed out.
Right. It was so, crazy to me because when they put us on NBA bubble, Adam Silver himself and all the coaching staff and everybody said, this is bigger than basketball. Let's talk about the problems are happening in America. And everybody was, talking about how, we should take a knee and we should, talk about the problems are happening here because Adam Silver and NBA knew that it's not going to affect their money and business. But more people watch NBA games in China than the American population last year. So when I came out and started to talk about China's human rights violations, they tried to silence me. They threatened to ban me, and it's a shame because Adam Silver is literally, selling this Americana to the biggest dictatorship in the world, and so that's why I feel like he should step down as the commissioner.
Unbelievable. So what is going to be the impact of this betting sting on the sports world and the betting markets going forward, do you think?
I think the situation is bigger than just one team or one league. What's happening right now affects the whole sports world because fans everywhere are watching to see if they can still trust what they are looking at and when they are turning on a game. Sports betting has grown so fast that the money is now directly connected to the game. So that means every mistake, every injury, every rumor becomes a betting issue. And when money gets involved, people start asking bigger questions about honesty and fairness. So if fans, started to feel like outcomes can be influenced by gambling, even like a little bit, they stop believing in the sport. And without trust, there's no product. The game loses its value. So going forward, every league, not just NBA, is going to have to make rules that protect competition, protect injury information, and protect the players from, being targeted or pressured by gambling activity.
Did you feel like there was talk of this gambling sting while you were in the game? I mean, how long do you think this has been going on?
I mean,
what about the mafia connection? What about the mafia connection?
That is actually very crazy. I heard about what Rashid Wallace talking about, how he thinks, felt to him that when he was playing, he had a long career, obviously, a lot of emotional games. So he's sharing his personal experience. But when I was playing, I really didn't face anything like that. I mean, I played against Terry Rozier and Chauncey Billups many times, and it's just crazy to me because these players made over 100 million throughout their career. So did you really have that? Like, did you really need that side hustle? It's just very crazy to me. But when I was playing, no, I did not face or heard anything like this in locker rooms.
All right, we will leave it there. Ennis, great to get your take on all of this. We so appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Ennis Cantor Freedom joining us. We'll see you soon.
Wow. Let's keep it moving.
And now we want to get to an update to a story that we brought to you back in September. You may remember our report on a Houston cosmetic lab dumping a large amount of foul-smelling coconut oil product that reached White Oak Bayou, according to a court document. Take a look. This is what it looked like back then, but the product has since been all cleaned up. And now whistleblowers from Northwest Harris County are speaking out, determined to make sure that those responsible are held accountable. KPRC2's Joel Eisenbaum has the story.
Boy, silky smooth coconut lotion is just so nice, isn't it? It's nice right up until it isn't. 100 gallons of this stuff, or more than 12,000 bottles of this stuff, was spilled, dumped, police say, by this company, and it made its way into our bayous. And now it's being charged as a felony.
And we don't need that in
Wow.
Yeah.
So we have to take care of it, and we like to take care of our neighborhood.
These two fellas here were the whistleblowers, and what they caught on camera was truly bizarre. You haven't seen this video before. It is playing at regular speed. But in May, the water was so polluted it appeared frozen in place. And in the Woodland Trails West subdivision, they weren't going to stand for it.
And then we had to determine where was it coming from.
And so that's what retirees Jeff Blackwell and Jim Haney set out to do. Find out who polluted the Woodland West Trails subdivision.
Well, thankfully, we had citizens that videotaped it and were able to notify us that this case was taking place. They had 100 gallons of batch that went bad. And rather than properly dispose of it, they just dumped it out on near the waterway.
Constable Alan Rosen's environmental unit descended on the Immaculate Lab Corporation, a private label cosmetics manufacturer on Fairbanks, North Houston, not far from 290.
Oh my
and later,
God.
we visited too, where apparently my belt was on the loose setting.
Can you tell me what's going on since? You have just a second for us, ma'am?
Try as we might, Immaculate folks wouldn't talk to us, but they're still in business, and on their website, they've apologized for what they call an accidental release. Police say they purposely dumped it. And it's not good enough for neighborhood crusaders Jeff and Jim, or the state of Texas. In this case, both the company and the company's owner are charged with state jail felonies. In the case of that 51-year-old principal owner, it could mean up to 2 years behind bars if he's convicted. Joel Eisenbaum, KPRC 2 News.
Wow, that's crazy. I could see something more crazy. I don't know. Let's see what else we have here. Let's see what's this about? Man slams what? I didn't even get to see what it said. That's a little bit too fast. All right. It's a car passing by. He reverses. He reverses. What is he doing? What is he doing? He bumped the police car. He bumped the police car. He's zooming back. And 2 minutes later, oh, here comes the police. So the police got out of their meeting. So he didn't even know his car got hit. Oh, that's crazy. Now he's getting into the police car. And approximately 20 seconds later. Oh, shit.
Guys, this guy just ran me.
Oh, my God.
Stay right there. Put the car in park. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
What is that?
Whoa. Drop the knife now. Drop the knife. Drop the knife. Drop it. Drop it. Drop the knife. Drop the knife. Drop the knife. Tyler, close my door. No, fuck the taser. Drop the knife.
I would tase him. Don't
drop the knife. Drop it. Drop the knife. Drop the knife. Drop the knife. Hey, close my door. Drop the
Wow. Okay, I didn't know it was gonna get that crazy. That was I wasn't expecting that, man. These videos, they get me by surprise. I don't know what's wrong with society, man. What's wrong with society? It's why would he go? And then he tapped the car. You saw, like, to make sure that if there was a police officer in the car or something, like, he did it on purpose. It's not, he can't claim, oh, it was a mistake. It was just an accident. No, motherfucker. You ran into the fucking police car at full speed. That's crazy. I don't know, man. I don't know. Let's see here. What we got. We got one more here. Oh, this is going to be a nightmare. We got a Jason A and 2 Tyson De La Cruz, and then we'll be done for the night. So, thank God we can finish this night. All right, so let's go ahead and set this up, and then we'll see what this one is about. This one is about the Chicago protest turns chaotic as federal agents gas protesters. Okay.
¡Faltan huevos! ¡Pinches vendidos! ¡Vendidos!
Mi huevo! This is my balls.
Hey, Bambino! Welcome to Chicago, Bambino! Welcome to Chicago!
Welcome to Chicago. Yeah, welcome to the fucking United States, motherfucker. Now here's some fucking smoke. Welcome to Chicago. Okay. Welcome to the fucking United States, you piece of shit.
Hey! Shame! Shame! Shame on you guys!
Shame on you guys. Shame.
Let her go! Let her go!
What happened to all the
Shame on you, brother! Shame on you! Shame on you! You're Latino, look at you! Let them go,
He's human. He's human. She might be carrying another human. Oh, no. We don't believe in that. She might be carrying a future abortioner. He's carrying
go after criminals like y'all say you are.
Shame. Shame on you.
Shame. Shame on Bambino. We don't need innocent people.
Going after the Mexican criminals. Shame that you're going after the lowly scum of the earth. And we're passing you. Because you're doing your job.
Let's go. No. This is what we're trying to avoid. Now we are trying to get them back. We're trying to get them back. I understand. It's okay. Let's go back. What?
Look at this craziness. Let go. Shame. Shame, let her go. There's nothing wrong. Let her go. Shame. Let her go. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing. She's innocent. I think the First Amendment.
Why are you so quiet now? I got the smoke perfect, like right underneath. You got like really good smoke.
Shame. Shame. Shame on you. Shame. She didn't do nothing. She didn't do nothing. Shame. No. You're not supposed to do that.
Give me a fucking break, man. I am not high enough for this shit. I am not rolling up another joint. Fuck that. Nope. Let's go straight to Jason A. I think this is gonna be a good one. Dude looks like a lady. Dude looks like a lady. Oh yeah. And that's what's next on Jason A.
Now says she's going to present scientific and photo evidence in court to prove her sex. This is part of the couple's court case here in the U.S. as they're suing the woman on the right side of your screen, conservative commentator Candace Owens, for saying on her platforms, Macron was born male.
Brigitte Macron was actually born Jean-Michel Trogneux. That is the person that you are seeing in this photo here on the far left. I would stake my entire professional career on the fact that Brigitte Macron, the current First Lady of France, was born a man.
So Macron is trying to shut down these claims and win the case. Owens is trying to get the whole thing thrown out.
But it does seem to be the issue of the moment. Some hackers have got into her tax returns apparently and turned her sex, her gender, to male on her tax forms. All very upsetting for her.
8 men and 2 women are accused of making false online claims about Brigitte Macron's sexual and gender identity and suggesting that her 24-year age gap with her husband Emmanuel Macron made her a pedophile.
And in this 4-hour video, they presented the theory that the real Brigitte Macron died very young, in fact, and her identity was taken on then by her older brother, Jean-Michel Trogneux, who had surgery to then physically become a woman and then married Emmanuel Macron, the French president. And this video and the theories in it were posted far and wide by anti-vax and far-right accounts, and it didn't take long, in fact, for the hashtag Jean-Michel Trogneux to then start trending online. Now, I really want to mention here, I think it's important to note that Jean-Michel Trogneux, the brother of Brigitte Macron, he is 80 years old today, and he is very much alive. But what may have really helped fuel this rumor online is that it's that the relationship between the Macrons, the first couple of France, they have long been the subject of online cannon fodder online. There's a huge speculation and interest in their relationship. They do have a 24-year age gap between them. The First Lady was indeed a teacher at the President's School when they met. So that may have really helped fuel it. But Brigitte Macron and her brother then decided to sue these women for defamation, the women that made that video. And in fact, they actually won that case.
Another defendant is a woman known by her pseudonym Amandine Roy. In 2021, she posted a 4-hour interview spreading conspiracy theories that Brigitte Macron was born a man under the name Jean-Michel Trognon, the actual name of her brother. She was ordered to pay damages to Brigitte Macron and her brother in 2024 before the conviction was overturned on appeal. The First Lady has since taken the case to the country's highest appeals court.
We intend to demonstrate that we have nothing to do with this and that no offense has been committed.
The attorney has said this is incredibly upsetting to both President Macron as well as his wife, Brigitte Macron. They say it's a distraction as well to the president and his family. This is an opportunity for them to prove last, to kind of shut down all of the rumors and the talk of what you heard from Candace Owen there, to essentially prove that she is in fact a woman. As you mentioned, they're going to use scientific and physical evidence if in fact this goes to trial to make sure everybody understands that that is in fact the truth. And I will say this is actually the second defamation case on this, because there was a defamation case that happened in France. This actually initiated with some French bloggers in which the Macrons actually won that case, but it was subsequently overturned in an appeal, not because of the truth, but because of freedom of expression.
Millions of people watch her. She did a series saying that Brigitte Macron was born a man, was born biologically male. Obviously, Brigitte denies this, so does the president. They deny it so much so they've now launched legal action against Brigitte, against Candace Owens, for saying that Brigitte Macron is basically a bloke. And so Brigitte Macron, this is what I want to ask you, Amy, just what you think about this. Brigitte Macron's going, I've got pictures, I can prove, I've got photographs of when I was at school, photographs, I've got records, I've got documents.
I got
Why doesn't she just say, I will undergo a chromosome test? I mean, it takes 5 minutes. That will establish. Why doesn't she do that?
I guess the only reason I can think of, I mean, I do agree. I mean, this whole issue it must be horrible for her that this is constantly in the press. And as you say, if she could just stop it, you wonder why she wouldn't. I guess that the only thing I can think of is that it's a matter of principle, that she's saying, well, why should I have to? Because I guess if she has to, then maybe, anybody could be accused of being trans, and then do we all have to, go undergo a chromosome test? So maybe she's just thinking, well, I shouldn't have to do this. But I think what happened with both of them is that their pushback against this, the Macrons, I mean, has kind of backfired, because they are getting so much publicity about this. If they had just ignored Candace, or if they had just maybe, quietly submitted some evidence or something like that, but because they've been digging their heels in so much, it's caused such a media storm around that, where there is now mounting pressure on her to prove her sex, it's a very strange story, and like I said, Candace Owens gets lots and lots of views, so I think from their perspective, I guess they felt that they needed to respond to it, but the fact that it's ended up with a lawsuit is and she could just prove it, I guess. But
that's the thing. The thing is, Amy, she sued Candace Owens, obviously in America.
I'm left with so many questions, Verica. One thing I have to say is that, who cares if indeed Mrs. Macron had been born a man? Who cares? Whose business is it? As we understand it, of course, she wasn't. But it's such a shame that she feels she has to, I suppose, prove this in some way, shape or form. It's degrading for her, I think, in some way. But nonetheless, these claims being made seem completely wild and spurious. But nonetheless, they appear to grow because people seem to like that sort of speculation, let's put it that way. It's not just in France, though, is it, that the Macrons are having this struggle? Tell us about that.
No, it hasn't. It's spread far beyond France, and the Macrons have now also taken action in the States. This really exploded on the internet when Candace Owens, far-right podcaster, commentator, MAGA commentator, she picked it up, and she became one of the most vocal champions of this conspiracy theory. In fact, she said that she was willing to bet her entire professional reputation on it. And she built her multi-part series called Becoming Brigitte on her platforms, but she took these accusations even further from what was previously in that 4-hour video. video. She, amongst many other things, she claimed that the president and his wife are even blood related as well. And this was a huge moneymaker for her. As you can imagine, there was millions of views on all of these episodes on her platforms compared to the ones before, which had hundreds of thousands. And in typical Candace Owens fashion, she did provoke this story as well a lot, even wearing merchandise like this, displaying Brigitte Macron as Times Man of the Year. And earlier this year, it was then that, in fact, that the Macrons decided to take legal action. They decided to sue her in her home state of Delaware. Owens did try and dismiss the case, but the Macrons countered with a 241-page complaint about the vitriol that they were facing. And Macron's lawyers have said that they are willing to offer scientific evidence to dispel the rumors once and for all.
What motivates people to do this kind of campaigning journalism, they would call it? We could think of other names to describe it, of course.
Well,
why are internet users so keen then to engage with this kind of rumour, Vedeka? Tell us about this.
Well, Mark, that is the question, but it does have all the ingredients, as if you will, of a perfect conspiracy theory. We have a head of state involved. We have an implication that the head of state is lying and deceiving his people. We have a sexuality, gender element involved. So it all really adds to the perfect conspiracy theory there.
Damn, Jason A., that was a good one, man. Wow, that's crazy. We need to check to see who has real. Does it purr or does it snap? I don't know. That pussy's wild. Oh no. All right, let's get to Jason. From Jason A., we're going to Tyson De La Cruz. So let's go ahead and set it up. We got a back-to-back on his show. So without further ado, let's go ahead and watch Tyson De La Cruz.
Big chunk of money meant to help catch whoever shot these 3 kids put in someone's pocket instead.
America, we need to talk about what's happening in Minnesota because this is absolutely insane. We've got a former Minnesota Chamber of Commerce CEO who just got indicted for embezzling over $200,000, including stealing $30,000 from Crime Stopper rewards money meant to help solve cases involving murdered children. But here's the kicker. This is just the tip of the iceberg in what appears to be the most systematic fraud operation that I've ever seen on any state level.
That's wild.
Jonathan Weinhagen is accused of using some of that money on first-class plane tickets and oceanfront hotel rooms for him and his family. The chamber tells me Weinhagen resigned last year after an internal investigation into the organization's finances.
What is up, guys? Tyson De La Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. I'm telling you right now, what we're seeing in Minnesota isn't just isolated incidents of corruption. This is a systematic breakdown of oversight and accountability that's allowing fraudsters to steal millions and millions of taxpayer money while the most vulnerable people suffer. Let's break down how brazen this Minneapolis Chamber CEO fraud really was. Jonathan Weinhagen didn't just steal money. He created an entire fictional universe to cover his tracks.
Indictment accuses Weinhagen of creating a fake consulting company called Synergy Partners and an alias by the name of James Sullivan. Between 2019 and 2024, he's accused of funneling $100,000 from the chamber to his fake company and using that money for personal expenses.
Think about the level of premeditation here. This wasn't some spur-of-the-moment decision. Weinhagen created a fake consulting company, gave himself a fake identity as James Sullivan, and then systematically funneled over $100,000 to himself over 5 years. But when the chamber started asking questions about payments to his mysterious company, he didn't just come clean.
Court documents say Weinhagen covered his tracks by sending fake emails saying the company no longer existed and the owner died. The documents say Weinhagen created a fake obituary for the company owner saying James Sullivan died of pancreatic cancer.
He literally killed off his fake identity. This guy wrote an obituary for his imaginary business partner. The audacity here, guys, is absolutely staggering. But what really gets me fired up is what he did with the Crime Stopper money.
Federal prosecutors say Weinhagen, who you see there, abused his position as Minneapolis Chamber of Commerce CEO for nearly 6 years. And during that time, they say he stole more than $200,000 from the chamber. Investigators say Weinhagen stole $30,000 of that reward money from Crime Stoppers and then spent it on himself.
This man stole $30,000 in reward money that was specifically set aside to help solve crimes involving children. We're talking about money that could have helped catch the killer of a 6-year-old who was shot and killed in 2021. Her grandfather's reaction says it all.
It's just unbelievable that we live in a state where somebody could actually be that heartless and that greedy. And so there's parts of me that broke my heart to know that somebody's like that and can do that. And then there's parts of me that is really angry.
Now, this isn't just one isolated incident case. We could chalk it up to one bad actor, but what we're seeing in Minnesota is a pattern, an absolute pattern of systematic fraud that suggests something much deeper is wrong in how this state operates. While Weinhanger was living it up in first-class flights and oceanfront hotel rooms in Hawaii with stolen money, Minnesota was simultaneously dealing with what federal prosecutors call a systematic and wholesome attack on Minnesota's Medicaid system.
Breaking developments in Carol Evans' ongoing housing hustle investigation and the first guilty plea in a sweeping federal fraud case tied to Minnesota's Housing Stabilization Services Program. The charges were brought in the wake of reporting by AJ Legault and our investigative team as they exposed fake meetings, forged signatures, and taxpayer money stolen.
We've talked about this a few times. The Housing Stabilization Services fraud is even more disgusting because it targets the most vulnerable people in the society, the homeless and desperate. These fraudsters were literally preying on people who had nothing, promising them housing help while billing Medicaid for services that they never even provided.
And to wake up freezing ice cold and having to go outside and pee, and you can't move because you're so damn cold, it sucks. It really, really sucks.
Last fall, Julie Quiros responded to this ad in a gas station bathroom promising help.
Listen to this woman's story. She was freezing in a Minnesota winter, desperate for help, and she finds a flyer at a gas station bathroom promising housing assistance. She calls, gives them her Medicaid information, and then waits through the entire freezing winter for help that never comes, while these criminals are billing Medicaid in her name. Here's what really blows my mind about the scope of this fraud. We're not talking about a few bad actors. We're talking about an entire industry of fraud that was operating with impunity.
Jen, a systematic and wholesale attack on Minnesota's Medicaid system. That's how federal prosecutors described what happened inside the state's Housing Stabilization Services Program, or HSS. And now, one of the business owners at the center of our investigation is admitting guilt.
Anwar Dowd just pled guilty to wire fraud, admitting he received $1.2 million in fraudulent Medicaid billing. Get this, court documents show he was telling his employees to bill as much as they could and that he wouldn't scrutinize billable hours. This wasn't accidental overbilling. This was systematic theft.
Anwar pled guilty Thursday morning to wire fraud, receiving $1.2 million in Medicaid billing as part of the conspiracy, telling his employees to bill as much as they could, and he wouldn't scrutinize the purported billable hours.
And here's the kicker. Sources tell investigators that Anwar weaponized incompetence to target state's HHS program. Think about that phrase, weaponized incompetence. They deliberately created chaos and confusion to hide their theft. But the scale gets even worse. According to the report, 115 individual businesses have been stopped from billing Medicaid due to what the state calls credible allegations of fraud. 115 businesses. This isn't a few bad apples. This is an entire orchard that's rotten.
It's really hard to tell just how far they plan to push this federal investigation. We know 115 individual businesses have been stopped from billing Medicaid due to what the state labels credible allegations of fraud. Will there be charges in each and every one of those cases? We don't know.
Yeah.
Now, let me tell you what really gets me fired up about this whole situation. The level of systematic fraud doesn't just happen in a vacuum. This happens when you have weak leadership, poor oversight, and a culture that prioritizes political correctness over accountability. Think about the timeline here. Weinhanger was stealing money for 5 years from 2019 to 2024. The housing services fraud was going on for years. We're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars in fraudulent billing, and it took investigative journalists to expose it, not state oversight.
He once was the face of business and progress. Now, the former head of the Minneapolis Chamber of Commerce is facing felonies, accused of stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars meant for the community.
Where was Minnesota's Department of Human Services during all this Medicaid fraud? Where were the auditors? Where was the basic oversight that should have caught fake companies billing for services that they never provided? Let's talk about the human cost here. While these fraudsters were living their best lives, first-class flights, oceanfront hotels, luxury lifestyles, real people were suffering. Families were waiting for justice for murdered children. Homeless people were freezing in Minnesota winters, waiting for help that never came. It's sick.
We trusted you. I had trust that nobody would do anything like this.
Money raised to get justice.
5 years, I haven't heard his voice.
For these children and their families.
And you lived your best life. You went to Hawaii, you took trips, you did everything for you and your family to be okay. What about our family?
This Minnesota fraud epidemic should be a wake-up call for every American about what happens when government grows too big and oversight becomes too weak. When you create massive bureaucratic programs with billions of dollars flowing through them and you don't have proper accountability measures, you're basically creating a feeding trough for criminals. The Housing Stabilization Services Program was supposed to help the most vulnerable people in society. Instead, it became a cash cow for fraudsters who saw an opportunity to exploit both the system and the people that they were meant to serve. And here's what really concerns me. If this is what we're seeing in Minnesota, what's happening in other states with similar programs? How many other systematic fraud operations are running right now, stealing taxpayer money while vulnerable people suffer? The fact that it took investigative journalists to expose this fraud tells you everything you need to know about the state of government oversight in Minnesota. The systems that were supposed to catch these frauds failed completely.
The crackdown on fraud is far from over, with further arrests and charges expected in the coming months.
Now, I'm glad to see federal prosecutors finally taking action. Weinhanger is facing up to 20 years in prison, and Anawa is looking at 41 to 51 months, which in my opinion is definitely not enough. But the damage is already done. Millions of tax dollars have been stolen, vulnerable people have been exploited, and families seeking justice for murdered children have been betrayed. America, what we're seeing in Minnesota is what happens when government accountability breaks down completely. You get systematic fraud operations that steal hundreds of millions of dollars while people who need the most get nothing. This isn't just about Minnesota. This is about a fundamental question of whether our government systems can be trusted to actually serve the people that they're supposed to help, or whether they're just going to become a feeding trough for criminals and fraudsters. The families of murdered children deserve better. The homeless people freezing in Minnesota winters deserve better. And the taxpayers who funded these programs deserve leaders who actually protect their money instead of creating systems that are so poorly managed they become criminal enterprises. We need real accountability, real oversight, and real consequences for people who enable this kind of systematic fraud. Because if we don't fix the problem, Minnesota won't be the last state we see with this level of corruption. Let me know what you think about this. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.
There. And let's see what we got here. Let me see if there's any update on the storm before I show the last of the night. See if we got any updates. Let's see. The storm is just really strong, you know. A lot of people are gonna be without power for a very, very long time. Yeah, it's just a weird day. Just blame Trump. Blame Trump. All right, let's go to the last one for the night. There's no real updates. I thought they'll have the 11 o'clock. Maybe after this, if they come out with the 11 o'clock, I'll show it to you guys. If not, you know, we'll wrap up the show. So without further ado, let's go ahead and watch Tyson De La Cruz.
Chinese drug lord nicknamed Brother Wong, a fugitive from Mexico and wanted in the United States for drug trafficking.
America, we just got one of the biggest wins in the war against fentanyl, and this story is absolutely wild. Zidong Zhang, they called him Brother Wang, Paco, He, Mr. T. This 41-year-old Chinese national who was the key link between Mexican cartels and Chinese chemical companies just got extradited to the United States after one of the craziest international manhunts that you'd ever seen. But here's the kicker. This man escaped house arrest in Mexico through a hole in the wall, flew to Cuba on a private jet, then tried to get to Russia with fake papers, only to get turned back around and sent right back.
Washington's most wanted Chinese drug lord was finally arrested in Cuba and is now waiting to be extradited to the United States through Mexico. The U.S. government is accusing him of supplying fentanyl to the two biggest Mexican cartels and building a multi-continental criminal network whose operations spread across America.
What is up, guys? Tyson De La Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. This case shows you exactly how sophisticated these international drug networks are and why it takes some serious international cooperation to bring these criminals to justice. Brother Wang, what he likes to be called, thought he could hide anywhere in the world, but justice finally caught up with this death merchant. Let me break down who Zidong Zhang really is, because this man wasn't some street level dealer. The United States cartel and Jalisco New Generation cartel and Chinese chemical companies that supplied the precursor chemicals to make fentanyl.
U.S. authorities say Zhang had built a massive narco-traffic network, which directly supplies to two Mexican cartels for nearly a decade.
For decades, this man built massive narcotics trafficking networks that directly supplied the two biggest Mexican cartels, Jalisco New Generation cartel, as terrorist groups earlier this year. So Brother Wang was literally supplying terrorist organization. But here's what should go his operation. The United States government says his operatives are scattered across states like California and Georgia, as well as Latin America, Europe, and Asia. This wasn't just a Mexican-China connection. This was a global criminal. 2,000 pounds of cocaine from Mexico into the United States. But here's the number that should terrify every American. Such a massive amount of fentanyl can kill approximately 900 million people. That is almost triple the United States population. But the drug trafficking business was only half of Brother Wang's operation. This man was running a sophisticated money laundering empire that would make Wall Street jealous. After his Mexican operatives collected money from drug dealers, they used his shell companies based in China and the United States for money laundering. And get this, U.S. officials say Brother Wang has 150 shell companies and almost 200 bank accounts. 150 shell companies. An indictment against him says he laundered $20 million in the United States within just 1 year. But here's what really shows you how sophisticated this operation was. Court documents show he tends to start banks with reputable banks like Bank of America, JP Morgan, Fargo. This was using America's biggest banks to launder drug money while poisoning American communities with fentanyl. He had the audacity to use our own financial system against us while supplying the chemicals that were killing 100,000 plus Americans every year. Now here's where the story gets really concerning. Brother Wang's connection to the Chinese Communist Party. This isn't just about one criminal. This is about state-level involvement in poisoning America.
The Bureau reported that Zhang Wang flew into Canada's Vancouver back in 2017, and he saved contacts from the Chinese embassy and consulate in Ottawa and Vancouver in his phone.
Think about that. A major fentanyl trafficker has direct contacts with Chinese government officials. This is not a coincidence, you guys. The Trump administration has been putting serious pressure on Beijing to stop fueling the opioid crisis, especially fentanyl, even slap 20% tariffs on Chinese goods as agencies last month accept 1,300 barrels of precursor from China before they could poison Americans.
Janine and I am in Houston, Texas, and I am surrounded by 1,300 barrels of precursors that are being used to make methamphetamines. These precursors were seized as a result of work by my office in Washington, D.C., along with Homeland Security and Customs and Border Patrol.
These 1,300 barrels were shipped from Shanghai, China, to Mexico. Now let me tell you about Brother Wang's escape attempt, because it sounds like something straight out of a movie. This man was arrested in Mexico City in October 2024 in a joint operation. They put him in a maximum security prison, but then, and this is where I get heated, the judge granted him house arrest. President Claudia Sheinbaum called that decision outrageous, and she was absolutely right, something that I agree with her with. You don't give house arrest to an international drug kingpin who's been escapes house arrest reportedly through a hole in the wall, gets on a private jet and flies to Cuba. From Cuba, he tries to get into Russia because Russia doesn't have extradition treaties with the United States. He gets fake papers, gets on a commercial flight from Havana to Moscow thinking that he's home free. But when he gets to Russia, the immigration authorities don't buy his fake papers. And here's the kicker. The Russians don't even know who they had. They briefly detained him, then turned him around and sent him right back to Cuba. Can you believe that? The Russians had one of the world's most wanted drug kingpins and sent him back because they didn't recognize him. Brother Wang is back in Cuba for a second time, and this time Cuban security services know exactly who he is. They hold on to him for several months, probably interrogating him, getting all kinds of intelligence before finally sending him to Mexico and then to the United States.
Now, the U.S. has never been this close to bringing the Chinese drug kingpin to justice after he managed to escape the last arrest.
Think about what the Cubans learned during those months of interrogation. Brother Wang had connections to Chinese government officials, 150 shell companies, 200 bank accounts, and operatives across multiple continents. The intelligence value of this man is absolutely enormous. And here's what a former DEA agent said that's most important. Even though they caught Brother Wang, it's not going to have a major impact on the drug trade because the cartels already have people ready to replace him. Just like when they caught El Chapo, the drugs keep flowing. That's the reality, you guys. This is a business. When you take out one player, there's always another one ready to set up. That's why this fentanyl crisis is so hard to stop. It's not just about catching individual criminals. It's about dismantling entire networks. But here's what really concerns me about this case. While all this international manhunt was happening, the United States has been conducting military strikes against alleged drug boats in the Caribbean and the Pacific. 9 strikes since last month, killing at least 37 people.
The vessel was known by our intelligence to be involved in illicit narcotics smuggling, was transiting along a known narco-trafficking transit route and carrying narcotics. There were 2 narco-terrorists aboard the vessel. During the strike, which was conducted in international waters, both terrorists were killed and no U.S. forces were harmed in this strike. Narco-terrorists intending to bring poison to our shores will find no safe harbor anywhere in our hemisphere, just as Al-Qaeda waged war on our homeland. These cartels are waging war on our border and our people. There will be no refuge or forgiveness, only justice.
Brother Wang's case shows you that the real fentanyl threat comes from Chinese chemical suppliers working with Mexican cartels. This case also shows you the power of international cooperation when it actually works. Mexico, Cuba, and the United States all working together to track this man down and bring him to justice. That's exactly what it takes to fight these global criminal organizations. If convicted, Brother Wang is looking at life in federal prison, just like El Chapo and El Mayo. And you know what? That's exactly where he belongs. This man was poisoning communities across multiple countries, laundering millions of dollars in drug money, and facilitating the fentanyl crisis that's killing Americans every single day. America, the Brother Wang case shows you how global and sophisticated the drug trade has become. This wasn't just about securing our borders. This required international cooperation across multiple countries and continents to track down one criminal. The scenes we're talking about, escaping through a hole in a wall, private jets to Cuba, fake papers to Russia, months of Cuban interrogation. This sounds like a movie, but it's the reality of how these international drug networks operate. This man had connections spanning from China to Mexico to the United States. He was converting drug money into cryptocurrency, had multiple identities, fake papers, private jets, and contacts with Chinese government officials. This wasn't some street-level drug dealer. This was a criminal mastermind with state-level connections. Americans. But it also shows you that when countries work together, we can bring these criminals to justice. Mexico arrested him, Cuba held him, and the United States will prosecute him. That's how you fight global criminal organizations. Brother Wang thought he can hide anywhere in the world, but justice finally caught up with this death merchant, and he's facing life in federal prison for poisoning American communities and facilitating the fentanyl crisis. Let me know what you guys think about this. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.
So thank you, Technical Crew, for a great upload. Yeah, it's just a lot of money, right? It's just a lot of money. All right, guys, I guess it's my time to go because as you can see, I'm zoomed way out. Hopefully I can zoom myself back in. Been a creepy night. It's going to only get creepier. Halloween is this week. It's this Friday. So, yeah, let's see how it goes. And you know the Day of the Dead is this Saturday. So, you know, I always like to go somewhere and leave some candles for the dead. I think this year I may go over and leave some candles at a couple of places, but we'll see. It all depends on how I feel because my back tomorrow I'm seeing physical therapy, so she usually works on my neck really good. Today I had the chiropractor; he worked on my back, so I'm getting a lot of work done, and my nerves are just driving me crazy. And there's times that I get really, really tired and really frustrated. So, with that said, have a good morning, good afternoon, good night, and I'll catch you on the flip side. I'll be back on here tomorrow again. Maybe an early show because I would like to see the landfall or see some news of the landfall. Will be interesting for sure. It's going to make landfall at 8 o'clock in the morning. I don't know. We'll see. The storm is just getting stronger and stronger as can be. So we'll see what happens. All right, guys. Have a good night. I'll see you later. Peace.